What's up? Welcome back to the Section 10 Podcast, episode 493, presented by Underdog Fantasy. It is the home of your 59-51 third place Boston Red Sox. My name is Jared Carrabis, and I am a certified GN, a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Coley Mick, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Tyler Milliken, and he killed his dog Bullet, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guys in the room. Steve, how you doing?
Ooh, what up, Section 10 in the building?
In the motherfucking building. Presented by Blue Moon.
Suck one.
Produced by Jake Yazzie.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, Jake. It is a series win for the Boston Red Sox. It is 2 out of 3, as I believe most of us kind of had going there. This is a series where they just needed to get back on the bicycle. Is that a phrase? Back on the bicycle?
Get back on that bike. Yep.
Get back on the bike, dude. Just get back on the bicycle. They need to get back on the horse. That's what it is. But it's more modern. Like, no one's riding horses anymore. Not that any of us have really.
Are. I've ridden a horse.
No, you haven't.
A poor horse.
Oh,
What do you mean poor horse? That horse was sturdy. I was riding it very well.
I know, it's still alive.
This fucking shirt is too small.
Take it off.
Busting out of this thing.
yeah,
I went
go
to
topless, dude. Go topless.
I went to a Hawaiian shirt party last summer, and I was like, I just fucking saw this shirt, and I was like, I can't just wear this shirt once. So this is the second time I'm wearing this shirt. I bought it for a Hawaiian shirt party last summer, and I was like, I gotta bust it back out. Coley?
That's right. I sure did.
Yeah, I did.
Sure fucking did.
Oh my God, yeah, I did. What a shirt. What a series.
Great shirt.
What a series.
What a series. What a world, man. What a life.
Team. See you guys.
All right, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Man, we broke it down.
Yeah, so this was a series in which the Red Sox probably should have taken 2 out of 3. It's not like one of those where you come out of it being like, damn, what a measuring stick. No, the Texas Rangers is not very good. Watching Nathan Eovaldi pitch today, too, I was like, why the fuck didn't the Rangers just trade him back to us? Like, why did you hang on to the guy? Like, what are we doing here? On the broadcast, learning that Nathan Eovaldi changes his jersey every inning was jarring to me. Like, I know some sweaty fellas, but if you have to change your jersey in a ballpark that is a closed roof with air conditioning, that seems like a medical problem.
It is a little crazy. I mean, granted, and I know Middlebrooks pointed this out during the broadcast, but these are really like the worst jerseys ever. That it looks like the jerseys are sweating. I'm like, that's a good point, kid. Like, it does look like the jerseys are sweating at this point. So maybe it's to combat that, but they dry them out. Is that what they said?
Yeah, dude, it has to smell so bad to throw that in the dryer and then put it back on.
Why don't they just have like 6
sweat?
new jerseys, right? Can't you do that?
I don't know. I guess you could. But like,
unless he
what do
just
you
likes
do?
that dry sweat jersey feeling. Oh,
Maybe, yeah. He's taking a nice warm jersey fresh out of the dryer, popping it on. It's probably making him hotter.
Let's
That's a
be
great
real.
point, too.
Haven't you guys all been in that spot where you're like, maybe you sweated a little too much through the shirt and you're in the bathroom with like the dryer and you're trying to dry the shirt so it doesn't look as sweaty and as gross? That's what I picture it feeling like.
I don't really sweat.
Okay.
You
no
don't.
One sweat.
You
That,
don't.
like, you are the sweater on the show, Tyler.
I do sweat a lot.
You're a sweaty guy. By the way, check out the part 1 to our All-Star Game vlog is on the YouTube channel. Be sure to like and subscribe and share it with your pals. As maybe the best line of the whole thing is Tyler jumping in the pool being like, I'm going to be just fine, and was dead the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't have had worse foreshadowing than Tyler jumping in the pool, be like, I'm okay. Everything's going to be awesome from this point forward. Dead.
Steve,
Bozo.
when
What's
you
up?
recorded, you and Mike were watching me when I was sleeping. Was that like that whole scene towards the end of it? It looked like you guys were in the room while I was just like cooked underneath.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were talking about you guys on Baseball is Dead, so we were trying to get an update on how you looked, and you look pretty bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't realize how big my back looked from behind, and I looked like a small bear or something like that.
You
Tyler,
were
to
passed
me-
out and something.
Just fair.
Yeah, it just didn't look great.
Yeah, Tyler, to me, like once you get sick, you're just like forever sick in my mind. Like whenever I'm around, I'm just like, get away from me. Like this dude is just germs.
Yeah.
I'm
I
recovering.
don't mean for it to be that way though.
Gonna see me this week.
Where?
Tuesday.
Tuesday
Oh yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Tuesday on Unobstructed Views on Nesson.
Plus.
You're gonna have Nesson Plus. The Section 10 boys will be there. I was told that there's only 3 mics, which means that Tyler, you're out. You can still come.
You were gonna say that. I can feel it. You thought about it for a couple seconds. Like, I know what that means.
Tyler, you can still come. I want
Thank
you
you.
to be there. But you're just gonna have to like yell off camera and hope one of the mics picks up. When
You could put me in the cage.
Swing. That's huge for them. Yep.
And hey, do I think this was a good outing for Bale? No.
Not to crap on the guy, but he's giving up a lot of homers lately.
Fuck you
Is
guys.
it in your contract that Bayo has to start on Tuesdays? Because it feels like it's been 75%.
Is he fucking starting on Tuesday?
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
It's every altcast.
I don't know why you're making that sound. You see what our other fucking starters are doing? He's currently our ace.
Yeah.
It's not about that. I just want some variety. That's all. I just want some variety. Is that so bad?
It's the first Bayo start. I'll be there, so there will be positivity in the building.
Listen, I'm positive on Bale.
Shame we didn't get a James Paxton start.
Wow.
Just for lying?
For lying, yeah.
He just couldn't handle it. He's like, I can't say that and act like it's the truth. That's crazy.
No, but it's fair. It's definitely fair. Yeah, what a reversion from the first half. But now I'm worried he's going to be pitching well and losing. That's my concern. Because he was pitching poorly, but still getting dubs.
Listen, if you can just competently throw a baseball and not give up a homer, you should win right now as a Red Sox starter. You're the best offense in baseball in the second half, and it's not even close.
And it should be less close. Like, they've left a lot of, not jumping ahead by any means, but they've left a lot of ducks on the pond.
Red Sox 910 OPS. Yankees are at 882 right now. Those are number 1 and number 2 in baseball in the second half.
Damn. Before we get into any baseball talk, really, Steve, thoughts on SummerSlam? Holy shit,
Dude, I don't really know where to begin. I mean, I'll start at Roman Reigns coming back, which is which is like acknowledge me.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredible, and the pop was great.
Crowd went ballistic.
Mm-hmm.
As you
great.
knew, you knew they were going to. Yeah.
No, you know it, but then it's a difference between knowing it and seeing it. Like once it actually happens, it's like, oh my God, I just love that we're all experiencing this at the same time.
Yep.
So that was great. I think it was wild.
Steve, what are your top 3 favorite pops that you've heard throughout your long tenured wrestling watching career?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Okay, I found this on the web.
I thought that was.
I don't have Siri turned on anything. That was like horrifying.
Yeah.
My apologies. I'll take a suspension if
No,
need be.
that's fine.
Yeah, no, I appreciated that there was some extra time. I don't know, man. It's hard to do top 3 when you just have so many. Like, I don't want to like limit it down to that because then you're going to leave some out and you're going to be like, oh my God, I forgot that pop.
Yeah.
Right, no, you're right. Top 25 favorite pops.
Yeah.
That'll be its own. We'll have that as a bonus episode. We'll do a bonus 10, top 25. Okay. But yeah, no, Roman Reigns coming back. That was incredible. Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan making out.
So that, like, you have 2 in the top 3 all time just in the same show that was last night.
Yeah, like, and that makeout. I don't want to say. Here's the thing that
he's not doing pops. He's just talking about.
He's just talking moments.
That
wasn't pop. That was more like whoa. That was my favorite whoa.
I think
moment
you
of the
predicted
night.
that, didn't you? Didn't you say that Dom was going to turn on Rhea? And he did.
Yeah, because I was talking about WWE for a little too long, so we cut that part out. So it's not in the actual podcast, but we were all talking about it. Yeah. And the look on Rhea Ripley's face when it was happening, she was pissed, and I was kind of pissed for her. Can I add?
Why wouldn't
what face did you make?
I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
But no, it was a great night. And by the way, not a great makeout. I thought the makeout could have been better. Like it wasn't a really good kiss. If you're gonna do that,
he's married in real life, so I feel like
he's kind of married. So yeah.
What was your favorite title change of the night,
dude?
There's 4 of them. So I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There were 4 of them.
There's 4 title changes.
I gotta go Reigns.
Well, he didn't have a match.
No, I know, dude.
He just came back to.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. I was talking pop. I was talking favorite pop. Of the night.
Yeah. Reigns had the best pop of the night. That's not even.
No doubt.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but your favorite title change you were gonna say?
Well, I thought we were still on pop.
No. We were talking title changes. There's 4 of them.
Oh yeah. Gunther wouldn't have been one of those.
I think he actually did freeze.
He actually did freeze. Yeah.
He's good at this. Oh no, he did freeze.
That was clear freeze.
That was a legit freeze. Yeah.
Great timing.
When
for
you
a
were
real
frozen,
freeze.
did you say what your favorite title change was?
I did.
What was it?
Well, I'm not gonna. We don't run stuff back.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I want to be able to react to it.
Oh, you'll hear it when we post the show.
Yeah, but if you could just say it again, then we could talk about it together.
I just don't like repeating myself on this show. Yeah. It's not fair. Like once you get a point out, it's like, dude, don't say the point again. Like,
yeah. So, what are you most excited about moving forward now, like storyline wise?
All of it.
Yeah.
I'm just like ready for it all. Like
there's a lot
after Reigns came in, I'm just thinking like, you guys, man, like you just never know what you're gonna get, and I think that's my favorite part about WWE is that you never know what you're gonna get. They always surprise you, and then when you think you know what's coming, you just don't. So I'm ready for the unexpected.
How'd you feel about Roman using new music?
A little stunned.
Me too.
Not gonna lie. Yeah, liked the music, but a little surprised.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, I don't want to like his theme is so cool. Like, why would you change it? But
but sometimes you got to mix it up, especially after what happened.
Yeah. All right. The MLB season's in full swing, and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball or mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. Can we do WWE on the dog? If we can't, we got to get on that.
Must be able to.
You think so?
It's all stats. So like there are like pins, there are kickouts, there's plenty of stats that you could play on.
Yeah. All right. Well, if that's the case, I got to find that out for a fact because I'm going to be ripping that all day long. Make sure when you sign up that you use the promo code Jared. It's JARED to get up to $250 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That is Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Last night, Steve, were you getting like a bunch of tweets about SummerSlam?
I was. Yeah, no, I was. Absolutely.
Why weren't you live tweeting the show?
Well, that just seems too obvious. I don't know. Sometimes you got to let other people, get their crack at it. Because I've been doing that for so many of these events that I thought I would just kind of take a step back. And I knew that you had it covered.
I tweeted it a few times. People got pissed at me because
the Dom Smith thing.
Yeah, like
that
I tweeted,
was suspension
Dom,
worthy.
no, Dom. Yes, people calling for suspension, they can get fucked. I mean, if you like anyone that thought that was about Dom Smith, all you're saying is like, I don't know anything about Jared. Like, obviously, I was watching SummerSlam, and you're a bad Red Sox fan if you thought that was about Dom, because that means you weren't watching the fucking Red Sox game. That's just a double whammy. You don't know me and what I'm about, and you weren't even watching the game. Fuck you. You're suspended.
There's another poorly timed one where like the Red Sox either just like meekly got out of a bases loaded situation or something, and you immediately tweeted something about
like,
Graps,
let's go.
and Yeah, like it pissed me off. I was like, God damn it! I know what you're watching, and I'm furious that I'm watching this piece of shit instead.
Well, I mean, I was watching both. Like we had the Red Sox
No,
game
I
on
know.
as well.
I know.
But yeah, I think. Oh yeah. I tweeted about how R-Truth was the only loyal member of Judgment Day in the end. Yeah, I said hashtag Finn knew. R-Truth ended up being the only true member of Judgment Day all along. Sad, because Finn Balor turned on Damian Priest, which I think Steve also predicted that would happen as well.
Mm-hmm. We had to cut that out too. Yep.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, I don't live tweet. If I live tweeted Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, then I could understand people getting annoyed. But I live tweet like WrestleMania and SummerSlam and like the Royal Rumble, like the big ones.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Not as much as Steve, but
yeah.
No, I mean,
who does? Exactly. I'm the number
Yeah,
one
not a lot
guy
of
in
people.
this game.
Ring.
Around these parts.
Cutter Crawford keeps giving up bombs, 4 of them
Two.
in this one. I mean, it is crazy.
Dude made history.
What
Most
was the
homers
history?
in 3 straight outings. 12.
There's 12.
12. That's bananas.
You know what I honestly think is more stunning? That he's only
What?
given up 16 earned runs in those starts. Like, how is that possible? 12 homers, 16 earned. That is crazy. Which is honestly, he just wants people to get their solo shots up. He doesn't want to get super crushed. Keep the Red Sox in the game, give up some bombs along the way. It was funny seeing the YouTube breakdown. I like watching those back just to hear the road calls, get more Fleming calls and all that. And the guy for the Rangers was like, Cutter Crawford turns around and watches that one go, as he's been very used to lately. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Jeez.
he got him. I mean, he's not wrong, but yeah, it was
Smoked his ass.
He,
for
he
no
was getting
reason.
roasted by the Rangers broadcast. So there is.
He's
that.
given up the most in baseball now. You know, you said Jose Barrios is what,
Eesh.
second place, Carlos Rodon third, and he has the highest home run per 9. So in every aspect, it's bomb after bomb. They're
In
all
the-
barrels too.
Yeah, in the second half of the season, Cutter Crawford has given up 12 home runs. The Red Sox as a staff have given up 33. 6 for Pivetta, 3 for Houck, 3 for Kelly, which that's not good to be mixed in with the starters.
Shout out Aaron Judge.
3 for Bayo, 2 for Kenley, and then the rest are all just 1. Yeah. Not at all what you want from the
no.
5.98 ERA in the second half Boston Red Sox. But the FIP is only 5.85.
Positivity.
All right,
Mhm.
things looking up.
Homers are going to do that to you.
Yep. 2.17 homers per 9 for the Boston Red Sox in the second half.
Less than
What
great.
about just the starters? Hold on, let me see what the starters are. Red Sox starters in the second half. Homers per 9, 2.60. Yeah, that's pretty bad. 25 of the 33 home runs are from Red Sox starting pitchers. 86 and 2/3 innings, 97 hits. Yeesh. 21 walks to 80 strikeouts and 25 bombs. Jesus Christ, dude. 5.5 ERA, 136 whip. Starters averaging 4 2/3 innings per start in the second half. Not what you want.
No, it's bad.
Objectively not good.
I thought Cutter.
Go ahead.
I thought Cutter after the game was gonna, not blame it and say he was tired, but maybe you heard earlier in the year, like, hey, my mechanics have kind of gone out of whack. I'm not used to pitching this many innings. But after this start, he's tied with last year for innings pitched. Which, if you go all the way, even throughout his minor league career, that's easily the most innings he's ever thrown in any season. So he is in completely uncharted waters at this point, and I don't know. I think you look at the barrel percentage, like this year he's in the 6th percentile. Last year he was in the 51st percentile. So these guys, like, the ball's just down the dick. 3 of them came on the cutter in this start on top of it. So
The
he went away
balls
from
are
the
just
cutter
down.
after that.
Imagine your balls just going down your dick.
Yeah,
That's-
just kind of
dude.
backwards.
Corey Seager, are you kidding me? Like, that guy loves to hit
You've
first pitch balls an attack, and you're throwing it right down the dick.
Yeah, just balls all the way down the dick. That would look so weird.
Yeah, like flipped around. That would be strange if they're at the top.
You need like an elastic to do that, I think.
Anal beads for your dick hole.
Yeah.
Ouch.
You brought it up.
Yeah,
I
all you, dude.
I didn't want to talk about the urethra.
No. Well,
we're here now.
Yep.
He pitched in this game.
That was a bar.
Kutter Crawford versus Jose Urethra in the series opener.
He will fight, so I take that back. Like, he is a crazy person.
Yeah, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 5 earned, 5 strikeouts, only 1 walk.
Hey.
But there is the whole 4 home run thing.
Dude, it sucks the way this month started, too. He had a 0.45 ERA in his first 3 starts, 1 homer allowed, a 147 batting average against in his last 3 starts. And I say this month, meaning start of July, my bad. Last 3 starts, 9.60 ERA, 12 homers, 3.13 batting average against. So you mentioned the innings thing, Tyler, and I totally agree with you, but it just flipped immediately to giving up endless bombs every start. Kind of strange to see that.
Well, on top of it, Jared.
I think it's very impressive that Kutter Crawford has given up 93 home runs this year and still has a sub-4 ERA, though. Like
Almost
381, pretty good. I'll take it. Yeah. The FIP is 475, but Tyler, that's because of the homers.
He's basically like the Tyler O'Neill of pitchers, if you think about it. Like, Tyler O'Neill never hits homers. Tyler O'Neill never hits homers when guys are on base. Kutter Crawford doesn't give up homers when guys are on base.
He was sick today, yeah?
Tyler O'Neill, yes.
Stomach
bug.
Yeah.
But he was available off the bench?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
How's that work?
Yesterday, they made him stay at the hotel.
That's what we did with you.
Basically. I wonder if he caught what I had.
Was Texas.
You definitely had the vid, I think.
What?
I think you had the vid.
What's a vid?
I'd bang him.
What's the vid? Has he not been alive for the last 4 years?
I mean, honestly, it's
But
just
Josh Beckett.
Like, it's...
He's
such a sheltered young man, but like at the same time, to not know what that is crazy.
Bozo.
Like, we're not talking about the bubonic plague. We're not talking about like kids these days that they don't even get chicken pox anymore. I just found that out recently.
No, they don't.
That's crazy. That
I was shocked when the
No,
pediatrician asked if we were going to get the chicken pox vaccine. I was like, when did that come out? When the fuck did that drop?
Yeah,
I never had him.
Yeah, Jake, did you have chicken pox?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, like
That's crazy.
we
You
just
guys had
missed
them?
it. Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
Dude, we had
Big
the pox.
Oh,
Multiple pox, right? Can you only get it
buddy.
once?
You can
Just
only get it
once.
once, but I think it stays with you forever, and later in life it can become shingles.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
sick.
Like, I had mono, that stays with you forever. Dude, I'm diseased. I have like, I think we all are. Did you guys have mono?
No.
Oh, you guys just weren't making out with anyone back then?
I had
Definitely
hand,
right.
foot, and
Definitely not.
mouth. Did you guys have that?
Well,
Probably.
I had that one.
Yeah, mono is no joke. Mono sucked. Chicken pox sucks. And if you get shingles, it's like super painful. I don't want shingles.
Mhm.
But I think we're all susceptible now because we've had chicken pox.
I think we're better suited because we had chicken pox. Like, you're not wrong. We are susceptible, but it's one of those things where if you had chicken pox, your body's prepared to fight shingles. If you didn't and you get shingles, you're big fucked.
Yeah, like let me see what shingles is all about, because I just heard it sucks. I don't really know what it is.
Don't
Shingles,
you die?
You know one? Can you name one person that's ever died from shingles? One.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Can you name one person that's ever died from shingles?
Yes. One person that had passed away at some point from potentially shingles, throughout history was Ali Fedotowsky.
That's not a real person.
sounded
All due
very
respect.
made up.
All due respect. But if you don't personally know anyone, shingles is a viral infection that causes a painful rash. See, I thought that shingles attacked like nerve endings. I didn't think that it was visible. Like, I didn't think that you could be like, oh, dude, check out my shingles. I don't know.
Think about chickenpox. Chickenpox are super visible.
Yeah, chickenpox. But this is shingles, brother.
Yeah, they're cousins.
This is a different ball game. Shingles can occur anywhere on your body. It typically looks like a single stripe of blisters. That should say strip, I believe, but it says stripe. A single stripe of blisters that wraps around the left side or the right side of your torso. Shingles is caused by the varicella zoster virus, the same virus that causes chickenpox. Shingles, also called the herpes zoster. Never heard of the herpes zoster before. It's just a painful rash. I don't know. I in my mind, if you had asked me, what's the deal with shingles? I would have been like, yeah, it's like a disease that attacks, or a virus that attacks your nervous system, and it's painful, but it's like internal. I didn't know that.
Big external disease.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Tyler?
I have some shingles stats if you'd like them.
I have some shingles stats for you.
Yes, I have the shingles stats. Yes.
I have those right here.
Listen up, young folks.
1 in 3
Fish
people
money, penny.
in the United States develop shingles at least once. Fewer than 100 people die of shingles each year. Risk increases with age and in people who have weakened immune systems. Those are my shingles facts.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Red Sox win 11-6. 11 runs, though. That's, Tyler?
I will add on the Kutter Crawford front, the fact that he got an extra day of rest and still didn't look good as well is very concerning to me.
Yeah, not great. How close are we to, what was it? Jaron Duran has to break the Red Sox single season record for triples for you to get your nipples pierced. What are we on pace for? Where we're at?
We are no longer on pace for that to happen, unfortunately, because we went through that really
triples
dry
in this
period.
Fucking series, or just one?
Just one. We're up to 13 now on the season.
And he needs to hit how many?
23, right?
22, 23, something like that.
Red Sox single season triples record 22. Tris Speaker holds the Boston Red Sox single season triples record with 22 in 1913.
So we need 23.
That's when people were dying from the chicken pox.
Oh, all the time.
They were dying from the sniffles back then.
Did you guys scratch them? What did that feel like?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awful.
They like literally would turn into open sores. Like I have a scar right here on my eyebrow from chicken pox. Yeah.
Your whole body's just itchy.
Your whole body is covered in a rash, like raised hives that when you scratch them, they scar and bleed.
Do you guys ever have meningitis?
No.
There was a period where my parents thought I had meningitis when we were down the Cape and I was like 3 years old. I fell down the stairs like little baby me. And they were going to do a spinal tap on me and my parents went against it. And I ended up not having it.
I'm happy for you, man.
Thank you.
Wilyerrrrrrr, I feel like he is leading almost all rookies in just about every single statistic offensively.
OPS.
It's almost at 900 for the year.
He's at 857. I think the next closest is right around 800.
Who's his stiffest competition for the rookie of the year in the American League?
That's right, Cowser, right?
Luis Heel.
No, it's Heel and Wyatt Langford who did nothing this series.
It's based off odds. I think Cowser's the favorite right now.
Is he? It was Langford last time I checked.
I think they updated it.
Well, they do definitely do that.
Well, I look at the rookie of the year odds a lot to see where our guys are at.
Mm-hmm.
And Rafael is not moving as much as I thought he would be. Right now, it's Cowser minus 130.
What do they have against Rafaela? Is it just
I don't know, dude. He's plus 1,500. Him and Abreu were plus 1,500 for rookie of the year.
His WAR is not that great, and his OPS plus isn't that great.
Yeah.
That's
but
really
he basically gets a hit every time he's up. So, like,
Austin Wells is 450.
It's crazy.
Wells has been really good this year.
I know he has,
Dude,
but
you love
it
Austin
started
Wells.
like a month and a half ago. Wilyerrrrrrr's been good all year outside of the first 2 weeks of the season.
I don't even think the game difference is that much between Austin Wells and Wilyerrrrrrr at this point.
This is fucking pinstripe Milliken's back.
No.
Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Austin
Like,
Wells,
Jesus
74
Christ,
games. It's a
dude.
111 OPS plus. Wilyerrrrrr's still been better than him, but he's doing it at catcher as well. But I did put up that tweet the other day comparing like Wilyerrrrrr versus Ceddanne Rafaela, and I will say a majority of people said I'd pick Ceddanne Rafaela for Rookie of the Year over Wilyerrrrrr, despite the stats across the board saying that Wilyerrrrrr's been better with less games played.
Well, the defensive stuff factors in, like the fact that, he can obviously play very well in center and short has to be something, and the big hits. I mean, they both have big hits now. I wish is there like a way to weigh big hits? Like, is there a stat for that, Tyler? I don't know if it's just clutch stats, I guess, but I'm talking
light and close, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's probably as good as it gets. I wish there was just like a big swing stat or something like that, because I feel like Rafaela would have more than Abreu, but it's a fair discussion to compare the two of them.
If you look at Rafaela the last 30 games, though, like June and July, the guy hit 300, and over his last 30 right now, it's 293, 322, 491, 813 OPS. Like, if he can sustain that over the next couple months, and I'll be the first person to acknowledge, like June, the BABIP was over 400. There was a lot of luck. July, that wasn't the case. Like, he was just out there hitting. So if this is the version of him you get through the rest of the year, he'll be in the top of that conversation for sure. But the defense, at least for Fangraphs War and stuff like that, when you see how bad the stuff at shortstop has been and how they do the metrics, they hate him there.
They hate him. Where the hell is Willier for second half? Does he not? Oh, he doesn't qualify. He doesn't qualify for the second half?
They did
How many
face a
plate
lot of
appearances does he
lefties,
have?
right?
I'm gonna
It
set
feels
it.
like he's been sitting a lot.
I'm gonna set it to 50 plate appearances. How many fucking plate appearances does he have in the second half? He doesn't qualify at 50 plate appearances?
No, I'd be surprised if he had 50.
I think he's got 45. Somewhere right around there.
Christ almighty. I mean, Tyler O'Neill is 6th in the majors in second half OPS.
He's only
Duran,
started 8
9th.
games in the second half, Abreu.
Devers, 16th, all over 1,000. And Wilyerrrrrr apparently has 9 plate appearances in the second half. He doesn't qualify with 45.
It's probably 44 then.
I'm going to put it at 40. Where's Willier at? You want to hear Willier? Willier. 11th. Yeah, he has 44 second half plate appearances. So he's 11th if you set it for 40 plate appearances. Vladdy Judge, Soto, Bobby Witt, Tyler O'Neill, Gavin Lux, Ketel Marte, Duran, Josh Bell, Wilyerrrrrr.
How is Rooker not up there?
He is 24th.
That's crazy. Every athletics highlight I see, it's just him hitting on 450. Every single one of them.
If you just based our expectations on major league teams based on what the MLB account tweets, I think the A's are undefeated. Like every night that I pay attention, they score like 15 runs. It's
yeah,
insane.
they're not terrible. Like they're weirdly not terrible.
Their
Lawrence
record just
and Butler
doesn't
go
match
back
up
to back
with
nightly.
the highlights. It's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Lawrence has been unbelievable. Or Lawrence Butler's been unbelievable. Rooker's been unbelievable. It's Andujar's been solid. Like a very strange team.
The second worst
Very
record in the
strange.
American League. It just doesn't feel like that.
They're sick.
They're nasty.
Unbelievable.
The best 46 and 67 team you've ever seen.
Yeah. I'm rooting for him. Anyways,
Yeah,
Tyler
Williams
O'Neill.
nasty.
Tyler O'Neill's having a hell of a second half. Rafael Devers having a hell of a second half. Rafael Devers triple in this series?
No.
Did I make
No.
that up? I made that up.
Series before, right? Maybe
Yeah,
I made
He's
that
tripled recently for certain.
up.
He hates hitting triples. He's said that. He just gets too tired.
He said that.
He did. He said that in a post game where it's like, I'd prefer to just get doubles because I'm not as tired.
It's far, man. Listen, Dom, not jumping ahead, but Dom was eyeing a triple today, and he said, you know what? I'm just going to chill at second here. That's fine.
Yeah.
There is something else from the first game we need to touch on.
What's that?
Do we?
Nick Sogard?
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
What a cool moment for Nick Sogard in front of the family.
That was very
Such
cool.
a professional at bat. I'm a big fan.
Did you tweet that? Was that one of your tweets?
That was one of my tweets.
Yeah.
Did you have an issue with it?
No.
Nothing beyond.
Friday night, I was watching the game while at Metallica, which was a very cool full circle moment because I had tickets to see Metallica at the time. This is probably like the peak of my Metallica fandom was in 2004, like high school. And I had tickets to see Metallica first time ever. And I didn't go because the Red Sox were in the World Series. And I wasn't going to the game, but I was like, I chose watching the Red Sox in the World Series on TV over going to Metallica, which I think we can all understand. And then that was another, like the Foo Fighters, another concert that had eluded me for my entire life. Just never got to see Metallica again after that. So Jimmy Stewart at 98.5 The Sports Hub was kind enough to give me 2 tickets to see Metallica originally on Sunday. And I was like, you know what, Jimmy, as much as I want to see Metallica, I can't go on Sunday because we are doing the podcast and I am not only is like not leaving early, like an option for that, like getting out of fucking Gillette after a concert. It took us an hour and a half just to get out of the parking lot. Like the concert ended at 11. I got home at like 2 a.m. So I was like, I can only really do Friday. So that sucks. And Jimmy was like, you know what? Here's 2 tickets to Friday. Send me the tickets for the Metallica concert for Friday. And I took my buddy from like best friends since kindergarten. And he was who I was supposed to be going to the Metallica concert with back in 2004. So 20 years later, we get to go together. And then Catherine Veritek was like, hey, I'm going to Metallica tonight. And I'm bringing Tim Wakefield's son, Trevor. We got 2 extra tickets. You're coming with. And I was like, well, I'm already going. She's like, perfect. Just sit with us. So very much a full circle moment to miss Metallica because the Red Sox were in the World Series in 2004 and then finally get to see them 20 years later with my best friend who I was supposed to go see them with originally and then be there with Jason Veritek's wife and Tim Wakefield's son. Tim Wakefield, the starter of game 1 of that World Series, Jason Veritek, the captain of that team. Very, very cool full circle moment. Great concert, by the way. But I did, unlike Fenway, like when I went to like the Kane Brown show and there was fucking no service whatsoever, Gillette was great. I could stream the whole game. Didn't miss a pitch. Still got to see Metallica. Great night. Just fuck the parking. I think we had like the discussion on the ride back. We were like, now that we've kind of seen every band that we want to see, I don't think there's another artist that I would put up with this for the rest of my life.
I do think Gillette, they do it intentionally to make people stay and go to one of the bars around there. Because if you do that and leave, you can sprint out of there. That place is empty. Like at 2 hours, I think they make everyone wait 2 hours and then everyone just goes.
Yeah.
If you got nowhere to be, it's a good it is a good move.
Tremendous.
Like we went to the weekend there a couple summers ago and got like a hotel there, which is probably the most overpriced hotel I've ever paid for in my life. I'm getting a hotel in Foxborough, Mass for like $600 or whatever.
I was gonna say.
I don't think it was actually, but it was something ridiculous. It's like, guys, come on, I understand there's a concert tonight, but we're in Foxborough. Like please. It felt illegal to have it that high, but dude, Patriot Place, really good spot. There's a lot of good places to go there.
Well, you're stuck there forever if you go.
I'm saying it'd be, can be get a couple bevs and then drive home.
Yeah.
Definitely don't do that. Have someone else drive you home, but have some Blue Moons and then be in the passenger seat.
Yeah. Fun night though. Had a good time.
Is it all still the original band members?
No, they've gone through like 3 different bases now.
That makes sense.
Yeah, Cliff Burton
That'd be
died.
shocking if they were all original.
I mean, it's pretty much original except for the bassist situation. Jason Newsted was there for a while. He left. but they've had the same basis now for probably 20 years. But yeah, Lars on the drums, Kirk Hammett, James Hetfield. Those are all the original guys. But Pantera opened, and they've gone through a million different rosters. But
they've got to be older, no?
Yeah, they're probably like pushing 60 at this point. But they still got it. They still got it. Rob Refsnyder. How about Rob Refsnyder, huh? Couple bombs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like everyone remembers the 2 bombs from Willier today. A little recency bias, but Rob Refsnyder just comes in there.
He was
gets
sick
a couple
too.
Tanks. He was sick. Is he the super spreader?
I don't know. After the game, he like asked to be excused from the media and everything. He didn't feel well enough.
Everybody getting sick in Texas, Tyler.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. It's
Tyler.
something going around down there.
Yeah, but who left it there? Who brought it there?
You left.
Are they staying at our house?
Tyler, you were in that park. You were in that park spreading your sick.
I was sweating a lot, too, when I was in that ballpark, like pouring sweat.
Home run derby, I looked to my left, and
DNA
Tyler was dripping the whole time.
Everywhere.
AC Park, by the way. This is not outdoors.
I was really excited.
Red Sox win 11-6.
Wait.
What?
In that first game, hey, Coley, these are good things to bring up. Lucas Sims continues to look filthy.
By the way, Steve, the reason why the podcasts are 3 hours long is because we try to move on to the next game 5 times, and Tyler's like, wait a second. Cam Boozer, the spinner rate.
Cam Boozer low-key gets slept on. I will say that as well.
He's doing it right now.
He does it every time. Anytime you make an example, he's like, well, that's funny you bring it up.
Well, actually, I got a whole page on him, and I'll start right now.
Who's the real dickhead? We're not even going to acknowledge Luis Garcia making his Red Sox debut.
He made the debut. Sometimes, Tyler, there's not stuff to add. Where like Luis
Garcia
made his debut.
Easy outing. I'm acknowledging him. I'm acknowledging you.
37-year-old rental reliever, journeyman reliever.
It's 11-6 in the
Sox.
9th inning, and here he comes. Let's go, dude.
Him and Kenley were teammates in the DSL.
If the Red Sox traded for Mason Miller, and we just went over, like, we're just like, oh, we're not even going to acknowledge Mason Miller's Red Sox debut, then it's like, whoa, what an oversight. But Luis Garcia, as, hey, I'm happy you're here. Welcome to the club and all that shit. But Jesus Christ.
But if
what was memorable about that?
A big inning, like Lucas Sims got out of a jam in that debut at Fenway. That matters. But, Luis Garcia got in there. Woo!
Woo!
Tyler?
You guys put it well. The fact that we don't remember it's a good thing.
Good point.
Well, it was fucking over.
Yeah. The game was over. It was a 5-run game in the 9th.
Yeah.
God is working. Easy. Nothing to worry about. That's what I want out of my bullpen arms. Thank you. And Lucas Sims not throwing the 4-seamer. Only 1 time in 2 outings.
You're welcome.
Noticeable.
That is notable. For
sure.
A mechanical change, a philosophy change. Lucas Sims not throwing the 4-seam. Why don't other teams just, it's not like I love Andrew Bailey, but it's like, the Andrew Bailey magic is just like, stop throwing your 4-seam. Like, other teams got to be like, hey, let's try that. Like, you don't have to employ Andrew Bailey to do that.
It's also not working very well at the moment.
Yeah. Other teams are like, oh, okay, your rotation has like a 20 ERA in the second half. Maybe
That
throw
is true.
fastballs.
That is true. Game 2 of the series, Tanner Houck versus Cody Bradford.
This is where it wasn't working, Jared.
Yeah. 5 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, couple walks, and Tanner Houck gave up 2 bombs. It was the first one to Jonah Heim was a 3-run bomb that tied it in a 3-0 ball game. And then he gave up, was it back-to-back, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Back-to-back.
Yeah.
Back-to-back to make it 4-3. Red Sox didn't really recover from that.
No.
There was also 2 outs. What?
There was they did recover, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but when Rafaela gunned out,
Oh, yeah.
what's his name at home? who may have been safe. I just don't think there was
Josh
replay
Young, right?
evidence. Yeah, Josh. They just didn't have any evidence that he touched, so they went with the call in the field, which I'm fine with. But the next batter, Bernardino's chucks it into the outfield, and then the next pitch got a double play ball, but there was no double play to turn, so we threw it home.
Sogard should have gone to third. The play was in front of him on top of it.
Listen, for sure, but it was a tailor-made double play ball that you would have gotten out of that inning if you just don't chuck it into the outfield. Like, that was insane.
When's the last time the Sox picked someone off a second? I can't remember it. I feel like it never happens, and yet we do. Oh, get him! Turn around, get him! It feels like it ends up in center field one out every 3 times. I know that's not true,
especially for a lefty.
I know.
The lefty has to do the full 180. It's not going to catch anyone sleeping ever. And
it's the most irregular move ever. You're just doing this huge floppy thing. Like, I think he's throwing it back here. I'm going to dive back. It's crazy.
Stop throwing a second, and I want everyone banned from swinging at first pitch. We are the worst. I don't have the stats. I'm sure Tyler does. They're the worst. It's even Refsnyder tonight had a good series, but comes up, bases juiced, 3 straight walks, swings at the first pitch, inning over. Like, enough of the swinging at the first pitch. Well, this team isn't good enough to do that.
One tough thing in this game, and it's hard to criticize a guy when you now have him at a new level of expectation in the field, but that's where I have Sadan for a lot of these plays. That ball that dropped in, he kind of took a circular route to it, like a round route instead of straight to it. I think he thought the ball was going further back than it actually did. That drops in. It's a ball that I think if that was hit 10 times, you might catch at least 5 or 6. And all of a sudden, it's the back-to-back homers, and maybe we look at this game completely differently. But you never like getting on a guy like that that's made, like, the top 5 catches of the year for this team. So just noticed that, and then they had that, obviously, showed that one right before the back-to-back homers. That was tough.
The Heim thing really pissed me off because his first at bat, it took Houck, 12 pitches to get him out? And he kept every foul ball was 9,000 miles per hour, just barely fair. You knew he was taking hacks and you knew he could see you. The next at bat, you kind of feed him the same stuff and it goes fair this time. It's like, what? I can't even put that on Houck. That's a whole. From Bailey to who was catching that game? Was that Jansen?
Yeah, Connor Wong at first base in that game.
That's right. To all of that, that's all 3 of them. It's like, try and learn from the first at bat. Like, you got him on a sinker up and out. Try that again. Nothing inside.
But Jared, I wanted to say this real quick. Your Dom tweet. It was the night that Connor Wong was making his first ever start at first base. So I think if people were piecing it together, they're like, is Dom dead? Like, why is Connor Wong at first base? So I think from that standpoint, it was a fair critique. But yeah, obviously WWE, I knew it was.
Yeah. I mean, I sent out the tweet and I said to the entire room, I was like, everyone's going to think that's about Tom Smith. And all the replies were like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do that? Like, I thought Dom was dead. I'm like, all right, then put on SummerSlam, asshole. Like, what do you want me to say? That's on you. That's on you for not watching SummerSlam. Also, there's one of my favorite Twitter accounts, Brooksgate.
Brooks_Gate on Twitter.
Brooks_Gate on Twitter. I found them this year. They're fucking awesome. Told Steve about them. Steve's been raving about them ever since. Mm-hmm. Put out a tweet today, power ranking MLB managers by how many career tweets they have. Alex Cora blows everybody out of the water. 45.2 thousand tweets for our manager, Alex Cora. Bruce Bochy got left off, but Bruce Bochy has 25.7 thousand.
Wait. Cora has 45,000 tweets?
That's just, I have 46,000 just for reference.
For reference, I have, where do you even see that? 193.8 thousand tweets.
I guess that just means that Cora, like Bill James, is online. Like, these other guys don't seem like they are.
Bill James is a fucking idiot, but he did have a good tweet the other day. He was like, the Red Sox, like, no one is talking about the fact that the Red Sox are in the position that they're in right now without their intended shortstop, second baseman, and first baseman. Like, they basically have Devers as their third baseman, and then everyone else in the infield has been gone for the year.
I saw that it was his handle, and I'm like, here we go. And then I was like, that's a good point. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, I feel like we've also talked about that a lot. Also, I'm not going to act like nobody's saying that. I feel like for
we
months
don't really say it like that though. Like, we're always
we're talking about them being the mid Sox. all the time it was like, hey, these are all the things that they're playing without, and somehow they've still managed to be here.
But I think phrasing it like that, the first, second, and short, it kind of puts it into perspective of, right, 75% of your infield is gone. That was expected.
Isn't that his whole point, though? Like, you can, everyone's a trash can. You can just replace them with a different trash can. That's like his whole jam.
Yeah,
it's like true. No one matters. So, like, that's a weird point from him.
Like, yeah, well, I guess he's just highlighting what his main thing is. Like, I have always been right.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It is kind of the reverse. You're right, where it's like no one's saying this. It's like you're the guy that always says this, but yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I wouldn't pay these players attention, let alone money. Like, you can find baseball players anywhere in the world. Like, just get 9 guys. It's not that hard.
True.
You guys worried about Houck?
Yeah.
You got to be. Be weird.
I feel like it's hard not to be at this point. It's like a 4.78 ERA, 5.10 FIP going back to the start of July. And for him to give up homers, he had the 3rd lowest home run per 9. Still does right now in all of baseball. For him to be giving it up that way, but do you think it's more regression or do you think it's innings?
It's got to be both, right? I mean, he was, I don't want to say we forget how dominant he was, but April and May had a 1.85. Gave up 1 homer in April and May combined. Like, that's absolutely crazy. It was almost 7 innings to start. And then since June 1st, 4.82 ERA, 2.61 average against, 7.35 OPS, 7 homers. It's not like the numbers don't like blow up in your face, but like when this was a guy that for a lot of the first half, I don't want to say was a favorite to start the All-Star game, but was top 2, top 3, and now he is what he is now. I did want to ask you guys, just power ranking the trust in starters. Like, I don't even know what to do. What do you do with the Red Sox starters right now? Trust rankings. Who's number 1? Is it Bayo?
I think it's Bayo.
I am leading it to Bayo as well right now.
I think it's Bayo, yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It's Brian Bayo?
No,
I know we all love him and we have all season, but that's a little
He's
wild.
a very good pitcher.
He's awesome. Yeah.
He is a very good pitcher, and he's my number 1.
Tanner Houck has the best ERA of Red Sox starters over their last 5 starts. It's 4.78. That's
I will
first.
say for Tanner, like in this start compared at least to the last couple, at least he was missing bats. It was 7 strikeouts, and he wasn't walking a ton of guys. Like that's the stuff that's worried me more than anything. But you look at like the velocity, the sweeper was down 0.6 miles per hour, sinker 0.8, and the splitter 0.9. Spin wise, he was good. Like he was, if anything, a little bit better than he usually is. But if he's missing bats, I feel a little bit better overall. It seemed like he just got squared up in that one bad inning.
And
yeah,
he's
I
had
think
that, right?
Different.
The one bad inning thing. That seems to be the Tanner Houck experience.
And Cora,
after that,
and I think Cora, there's something going on here where he's realizing, I think he noticed it with Kutter and Tanner, where leaving them in for that extra inning where they kind of got teed off on. He comes out today and he goes, I think now with the way the bullpen's structured, we need to start being a little bit more aggressive in the 5th inning and getting guys out, which they did to Pivetta today, not to jump ahead. But I think that is kind of where this is coming from, where workload and just kind of where these guys are at right now. Like they can't be just pushing these guys, for that extra inning on a regular basis. It'll burn the bullpen out at some point, but right now that's the group that has the most bullets because the rotation looks gassed.
Might not burn the bullpen if they're going to be getting guys back relatively soon. Like you do have a couple of guys you can kind of force feed for the moment, knowing they're not really going to be here, hopefully in a couple of weeks. And it's not even a hopefully on them, hopefully about the guys you're getting back. And if you factor Penrod into that, I do think there's ways around it as well. What do you have, 8 pitches the inning before the blow-up? Was that the 3rd he had 8 pitches? There was one inning where it was just over before it started.
That feels right. It was very inefficient.
If he gets through that Heim at bat, and Tavares kind of got everybody this series. I don't think he got Pivetta today, but the first 2 games, Kutter and Houck, he was just all over him.
Number 9 hitter strikes again.
That's what I mean. The 2 at bats for Tavares were, I believe, a 4-pitch walk and then a solo shot, which I don't love. I don't love that at all. So it's frustrating. I would skip a start, maybe 2. Like I know the rotation doesn't have anyone unless you're just going to slide Criswell back, but he needs something.
I mean, the innings thing is real. Like he's 28 innings past his career high, and it's the start of August. And how often is this top starter that you rely on in your rotation already in that situation, being this past his career high in innings at the start of 2 months left in the season? So I was seeing trying to add it up for his first 3 seasons combined. He's going to match that number just in this season, probably in the next 2 weeks. So that has to factor in. There's no scenario where it doesn't factor in. You look at Tanner Houck and he, cool, calm, collected all the time. So it's hard to really see if he's fatigued or anything like that. But you just got to look at the numbers and factor in that there's no doubt he's fatigued at this point. And I don't know who, again, not jumping ahead in the season, but who would be the guy right now if the Red Sox make the playoffs that you'd want to give the ball to in game 1 of a wild card series on the road, likely? Like, I don't know who that guy is. And of course, then you look at the next 2 months, a lot of fans would say, well, because of this problem, they're not going to make the playoffs. And that's a fair complaint. But I don't know who you'd be giving the ball to in that situation.
I think in that situation, it's you're either riding the hot hand or you give the ball to the guy that got you there,
which is probably how they would go about it.
Yeah, and you have to also think they had to have had a plan. I don't think they obviously didn't think that how could it be as good as he's been this year. But I think when they went into the season, it's not like they just realized that all these guys would be surpassing their career innings totals. They had to know that in spring training, like, hey, Giolito's going down, Houck is making the rotation, Cutter's in the rotation, Bayo's in the rotation. All these guys are going to surpass their career highs and innings limits, and not just surpass them, but close to doubling them. Like they're going to blow past them. There had to be, and if there wasn't, that's horrible. But there had to be some sort of plan of like, here's how we're going to approach this. And maybe it is just keeping guys stretched, like having guys like Cooper Criswell, Josh Winkowski making starts. I don't know, but there's no way they were like, oh, we'll deal with it later. We'll just figure it out.
I think that's what it was.
I think part of it was hope for the best. I really do.
Yeah.
And we've been kind of quiet about it because it's for the most part worked out pretty damn well in the first half of the season. And now I don't want to say the wheels are falling off, but we're obviously seeing the issues with the innings.
You lost.
Also,
like, that's where the Giolito stuff, like, say what you will.
Yeah,
that workhorse, they banked so much on him being the guy that they were going to have out there for 30 starts and never even think twice. They also believe that Garrett Whitlock would make it through a season healthy as a starter, which, you could say whatever you want about how stupid they are that they banked on it, but that was part of the equation. Yeah. So I think you're at this point now with Criswell, like the role they're using Criswell in, like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I don't need him throwing 2 innings in these games that are getting away. Like, if anything, do a 6-man rotation or send him down and let's do some spot starts or whatever it may be. Using him for 2 or 3 innings at the end of games, which aren't even regular high leverage spots, you're just wasting the arm. Like, you're getting nothing out of him at that point. I don't need someone playing the Chase Anderson role.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, Cooper Criswell is far better than a pitcher that needs to be replacing the Chase Anderson role in this team. Like, you can get any slapdick to do that, but Cooper Criswell was giving you quality innings, and he was actually pitching deeper into starts more recently than, at the beginning of the year when he was pitching really well. It's like, yeah, all right, we'll get 4 or 5 innings out of Cooper Criswell, and then he goes out there and fucking gives you a 6 shot, and you're like, all right, yeah, let's have him take over for Chase Anderson. Let's have him pitch when we're up 11-5. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
If I could also get like a boomer takeoff here.
Oh,
like, we're not talking about he went from 200 innings to 300 innings. Like, what's that? What's Houck at now? 130.
Yeah,
it sounds about right.
Right in that ballpark.
Yeah, throw the fucking ball. Like, that's to everybody, not just him. Like, we used to 250 innings. I understand we're not doing that anymore. It's illegal. Manfred banned it, but I can't be hearing fatigue at the beginning of August. I understand it's a factor here. Let guys pitch. Like, this is sad. Like, it's sad guys can't get through August.
Well, it's growing pains. It's just, I think, understanding this is what it's going to look like.
27?
Yeah, 28 now.
Yeah, but growing pains in terms of expectations for wear on the arm. I both can be true, by the way. Like, it can be like, hey, 1,000%. Suck it up and toss the pearl. Like, this is how it's going to go, brother. But because of the fatigue, he's giving up bombs and not looking like himself.
But like that, I can't blame the Heim. And it's tough last name.
I know. I keep going to the other guy. Yeah.
I can't blame the Jonah Heim home run on fatigue. That was so obvious if you saw the first at bat. It was like Devers. Devers was smoking the ball early in this series, just right at people. Finally, he unloads on one, and then he was hot the rest of the series. Like, you can see when a guy's about to break out, especially when it's the same pitcher and the same pitch. That's where it's like, I can't blame that on fatigue. That was just a bad idea at the beginning of the season.
That's why, to me, I think the strikeouts and the walks, that's how I indicate it. When he's walking more guys and he's striking out in other starts, I'm like, that's not Tanner Houck. Like, that's not the Tanner Houck we know. I think that's why you look at this start and it's like, I think he just got hit hard in that fourth inning and he kind of didn't look like himself. Yes, the velocity was down a little bit, but like even last year when he threw 106 innings, he had a month and a half layoff when he got hit in the face.
Sure.
Right? So like that was time mid-season where his arm was getting rest and he wasn't picking up bullets. I just think he's in uncharted water. But if the Red Sox want Tanner Houck to be this old school number one that can go 180 innings to 200 innings, this is the process to getting there. You just hope he doesn't get injured on the way to that. And I think in a real world where the Red Sox weren't competitive, they were probably talking about shutting him down at some point in the last couple months, to protect him going into next year. They don't have that choice this year now.
That would be dumb too, because if you ever want him to be that moving forward, you have to stretch him out at some point.
Part of what's
but you get to
happening
150,
now is
160.
Part of what's happening now, it should benefit him. Like there is that element to it, and I agree with Coley that there is that element of like, all right, well, you got to eat the innings. Like we don't have a bunch of alternatives for someone to replace our only all-star starter or only all-star pitcher. So there is that element of like, okay, you got to go out there, you got to eat it a little bit and still see what happens because you got him, for 3 more years guaranteed after this? And if you want him to get through seasons and not have to be using this fatigue thing, not as an excuse, but even just as a talking point by people like us and anybody in, the front office, you got to be able to push through this part. There was I saw a clip. I'm so upset. I forget who it was, but it was a former MLB player that was saying that it's a super underrated thing that August is just the absolute pain in the ass for everyone in Major League Baseball. Every player hates this month, and it's just a grind. This is when like the mental fatigue, physical fatigue, it all factors in. And I'm not using that as an excuse, Coley, more just like as a fact.
No,
like
it's definitely for sure.
And when you're going out there start after start and thinking, oh, okay, like if I just didn't have that happen, or if that ball was caught, or if this, all of a sudden that then plays into it, and then you don't want to make internal excuses, and you look up and your second half ERA is 6, and now you're the guy. Maybe you have to get the ball in the wild card series. Like that can mess with you mentally, and I think that factors into the Tanner stuff too. He never shows any kind of fatigue of any sort, just with his appearance, with his presence.
Sure.
But you got to think at this point right now that there's a lot of stuff that's factoring into what's going on. Jerry put glasses on. You look smart, dude.
It did.
It's like a SpongeBob vibe going on.
SpongeBob does not wear glasses. Steve?
Sometimes
Jared, I have a question for you, Jared.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had alluded to this earlier. I know you've had the reliever rankings in the past, the trust.
Mm-hmm.
What did you call it? It had a specific name.
The relievers that I trust list.
Okay. Extremely specific. Starter trust rankings right now. What would you do 1 through 5?
Brian Bale, Brian Bale, Brian Bale, Brian Bale, and Brian Bale.
All right, moving on.
Is there anyone object to that, or?
If we had 5 Brian Bales, they'd be on pace to go 150 right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact.
I mean, when we do the Stop and Shop look ahead later, is there a Red Sox starter when you see their name, you're like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, that's the one where we got that one at least.
My gut tells me they're losing every game when I look at the probable pitchers.
Believe in James Paxton.
I had Paxton number 1, by the way, because I did make the list.
There's not guys that I dread, really, when they take the ball, but there's no one that I feel super great about.
Every guy coming up in the probable pitchers is like, hey, we'll see. It's a we'll see for kind of all of them.
Yeah.
But I feel fine about Paxton. I still feel fine about Houck. Bayo, I feel okay. Pivetta, I feel fine. And Kutter, I'm concerned about the homers. I mean, how the fuck could you not be? But even when he gives up bombs, like we just said, it's not like he's going out there giving up 4 bombs, but it's not 8 earned. It'll be, it's 4 bombs and 5 earned. It's like he's getting hit hard, but he's not getting blown out of the water, really. I don't know. It's very strange.
We also, a month ago, or not even really 2.5 weeks ago, Kutter was the hottest pitcher on the entire staff and coming off 3 starts in a row, 16 straight scoreless innings that we couldn't stop highlighting. I think it's just a point for the rotation where they're hitting a wall right now, and they're going to be better than what they have been. They're not going to be the worst rotation in baseball, as we've seen, they were still 8th in starter ERA a couple days ago. I just think this is a period where you're going to see these guys kind of have to make that growth in front of you. Like, this is what part of this team is. And you kind of just have to accept it and be thankful that the offense is, stepping up when they need to. Because if they weren't, these games would be, complete blowouts that we were done with 3 innings in.
What was his last start, Colorado, or was that 2 starts ago?
Kutter?
No, Houck.
Last start was Colorado. Yeah, right?
Yeah, so like I can throw a Colorado start like directly out. You know what I mean? Like whatever happens there, that's a Colorado problem.
Oh, New York, then Colorado.
Okay.
We'll still throw Colorado out for the record. Anyone keeping track?
Yeah, that one's gone. And so then I look at this start and it's just like, it was one really bad at bat. And when he left the game with guys on first and second, he should have gotten out of that unscathed if Bernardino wasn't a jackass of late. I don't think we can stress. Like, I honestly, I would flip them. I would have Bernardino start those games and then bring Houck in. Just try it.
I've heard worse ideas. They would never do it. But I would like one of these guys to just go like 7 shut. Like, just to get one, almost like
you
reset
just got that from Cooper Criswell.
I was about to say he was the last guy.
No, I know. Well, and it's in Colorado of all places, which makes even less sense. But I would just one of the regular rotation guys to almost like reset the rotation. Just be like, all right, guys, like I did it. Let's see if you can match me. I think that stuff might be overdone a little bit, where it's like one guy rubs off on the next. But it would be nice. I don't think it's going to happen in Kansas City, but all these games coming up here are huge. It would be good to get one of those outings.
Yeah, the closest thing was Bayo in Seattle. 6 1/3 and 2 earned runs. Like, even that right now would feel like a miracle compared to what they've been doing.
Yeah, just give me 3 earned runs through 5, and I feel like this team has a chance.
They've given up 7 runs a game since the All-Star break. Like,
what is it if you take out the 24?
No, it's probably 6. It's probably like 6 or something. Yeah, I should have done that math. Honestly, when I was doing it, I was like, I should do the non-20 run stat as well. But even without that, though, you look at the game log and it's like 7, 9, 11. Like, you just go down the list. It's every night they got to put up like 8 or 9 runs to have a chance.
That's what I was going to ask about Friday. Like, at what point did you feel like that game was won? Because for me, it wasn't until it got to 11.
Yeah, till the 9th.
Yeah.
When I saw Luis Garcia come in, I breathed for the first time.
They had a 4-run lead, and I was like, they're probably going to have to go to Kenley in a non-save. Like, we're going to see Kenley here.
Yeah, Kenley was up in that game, was he not? I believe Kenley was up and ready to enter that game.
He's always up.
I believe he was warming. I think you're right, Coley.
Sure. Yeah, but I believe it was a save situation that got turned into a non-save situation, and that's when Kenley was like, I'm all set.
Yeah, it was 9-6, and it's like, yeah, this isn't over. There's no chance.
Devers and Dom Smith coming through in the 9th with the insurance runs.
And then who's going to forget Luis Garcia?
Oh, my God.
Coming in bottom 9 and being like, you're not getting
What was your favorite
run.
part of that appearance, Steve?
Oh, my God, dude. I mean, it was, honestly, when he came in, I think the Rangers were like, we know this game's over. There's no chance we're going to touch this guy. But I would say when Ezekiel, by the way, is it Duran? Is that what I heard? It's Duran. Will Fleming in pronunciations. He ain't never messed one of them up. So if he says it, yeah. Ezekiel Duran flies out to left, 2 down in the 9th. It was probably the fly out by Duran.
Yeah. I can't remember much of the outing because I was fucking hysterically crying, like just so excited that he was pitching.
I know. I'm never going to forget it. I think, you know, the course of 162, there's little moments that stick out. That's one of them.
That was the one for me.
That's your favorite moment of the season?
Yeah. Not even close. Luis Garcia's Red Sox debut. Where were you?
I was watching it at home.
Yeah. Jake, what were you doing when that happened?
Just going fucking nuts, dude. It was unbelievable.
I was losing it.
What was your favorite part? I mean, again, this is a huge moment. We got to give this time. What was your favorite part of the outing?
Mine?
Of Garcia's.
Oh, my God. Just like when he was throwing his warm-up pitches after I got done throwing up from excitement.
Hyperventilating.
Yeah, I was like, I can't fucking believe this is happening right now. Like, I can't. We're doing it. We did it. He's here. He's really about to. he's really about to throw some big league pitches for my team, my local 9. And I just felt blessed. I felt blessed in the moment. And my life has changed since then.
Beatlemania got removed from the number 1 spot for me.
Mhm.
That got slid right to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was nuts. What were you doing, T-Dog?
Martha was sitting right next to me, and I told her not to talk once he got on top of the mound.
Jesus
I was
Christ.
really locked in. I didn't want to hear a word out of her
Yes.
mouth.
Wow.
And it was really
Keep
just
it
a couple
close.
moments of bliss as I watched
Shut
him
the
set the
fuck
order
up.
down in order. She was enjoying it too, though. I could tell that she saw, Luis Garcia on the mound for the Red Sox.
Yeah,
and
she had a gun pointed at her. She
Yeah.
had to.
She was
Oh,
pulling
what a
Jake.
bitch,
Just
huh?
yep.
Yeah, oh my God, dude.
she locked the fuck in, man.
No, she had no other choice.
Yeah, there's no choice there.
The veins were popping out of my neck as I was watching.
Christ, man.
Louis Garcia!
Hey, he grew up a Red Sox fan. Do you know that?
Oh, who didn't know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, dude. We know.
His dad used to put the game on for him when he was a kid, and he'd watch Manny.
What is he, an
Now
idiot?
that I
Doesn't
think
know
about
how
it,
to
he's
turn the TV
37
on?
years old. So how old was he during that era? Well, I guess that's like 14 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he saw way more, though, 14 than you did.
Definitely. But big
Mhm.
Manny guy, big Ortiz and Pedro guy. Mentioned Kurt Schilling as well, interestingly enough, in his in the article.
Red Sox lose 7-4.
It's the first Red Sox player to wear 40 since Duran. There you go.
Duran or Duran?
Ours is Duran.
Jaron
There-
Duran.
Jaron Duran, fly out to the left.
That brings us to today's game, where Nick Pivetta went up against Nathan Eovaldi. Did anyone have a bad feeling going into this one? The
Mhm,
Sunday
and
Sox.
during it for a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, the Sunday Sox have proven to be human a little bit of late. It was Nathan Eovaldi. But by the way, Packet automatically goes out to Alex Cora. I mean, like the move that he pulled off,
Mm-hmm.
texting Nathan Eovaldi the next day's lineup, knowing that he was going to stay up late to study it and work on his preparation for the hitters, made him tired, knowing he's a guy that sweats a lot. He's going to get tired anyway. Alex Cora, our manager, strategically took sleep away from Nathan Eovaldi last night in preparation for today's game. Did it work? I guess. Yeah.
He also kind of like got Pavetta's head straight because I don't know what was going on with him today on the mound. Dude, his entire stuff was like significantly down. The fastball was down 2.2 miles per hour. The sweeper was down 2 miles per hour, and the curveball was a full mile per hour down. Like everything was like significantly down for him. And he was kind of doing the pouty thing on the mound. He got upset after the Devers error, but Cora wasn't having it. I give him credit for going out there. It was almost a Bayo moment.
I would like to know what he said, because AC's like, you talk about the veins popping in the neck, like that's kind of what was happening. It was a lot of like, what are you doing over here? It was a lot of that.
Cora's the
got?
first one who's called them out the last couple of years. It hasn't happened as much in 23 and 24, but you go back to 21 and 22, Cora made a point to be like, listen, he's not always the same guy every fifth day. Like he's kind of up and down. We're trying to find that consistency with him. Some days he goes out there and it seems like he has it. Other days he goes out there and it just seems like he's not mentally locked in. I think he's been better at that since he got pushed back into the rotation, but it felt like a throwback to that moment.
You don't see that too often with the manager coming out in the second inning and being like, all right, we're not doing this again. This is not going to turn into some 5-run inning. Lock it in right here and let's keep it rolling. The Rangers didn't score the rest of the game. So like those things, that's what you want in your manager. And I don't even remember the last time that he's done something like that. That earns value with your players when you're not just doing that all the time. Like, come on, lock in. Like, thanks, dude. Yeah, I got to lock in. I just gave up 2 homers. Like, I appreciate it. Like, Nick had a look on his face of like, all right, like you could see him afterwards being like, I got to pick it up. And then even in the post game, he said, yeah, that like locked me back in. That got me back on track. And he appreciated that. Nick Pivetta, a guy that's a hard message to deliver to. That's maybe the hardest starter to be like, hey, do this. He's like, no, I don't want to do that now because you told me to. So that was huge. I think that's a big moment of the series, especially considering Ketchup was on the line.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get maybe, I mean, I didn't get the sense that the inning was about to get away from Pivetta at that point. There was only a runner on first at the time. It was the couple homers. There was a runner on first, but it wasn't like second and third and he's, walking guys. It was really just kind of his body language after the second homer that maybe was a little off-putting to AC. And then you have a runner on first base. It's still at that point, what, a 2-2 game?
Oh, 2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
Homer and then the error.
Okay. Oh yeah, Rafi at third, which by the way was a tough error. Like I know they were talking about that on the broadcast too. 103 off the bat, short hop. Yeah, like that was that could have gone either way. But maybe because that was the one thing. Like, did the Nesson cameras not pick up? Like, did he have some sort of reaction to Rafi not making that play that Alex didn't like? Like that kind of felt more, I guess, appropriate, where it's like, all right, yeah, you gave up a couple bombs and, maybe you're upset about that. But Rafi not making that play, I don't know if he made some sort of gesture or the body language after like a pretty hard play to make it third base.
Well, when they showed AC in the dugout afterwards, like after he had given him that speech on the mound, it was very much, he was like still staring at him too. Mm-hmm. He's like, not today. Like we're not having this, like this, we need this game. And I like that mentality in early August. Like I know there's still like 50 plus games left or right around there, but like all of these matter. And I think they alluded to that on the broadcast. Like each game as you get closer here matters even more, and you got to win series. So
you can't lose a series going. And then at that point, you're what, 3.5 back of the Royals
going into Kansas City.
Yes, going into a series against the Royals. Like this game was so important because I mean, it's obviously just setting a high bar here. But if you sweep them, then you pass them. But if you lose today, that's not possible. And you also just don't want to have like worst case scenario, you get swept and then you're 6.5 back of them like that. You can't fucking have that.
Right. It felt like a basketball coach calling timeout right after halftime when the other team just immediately gets an easy look at a three. And it's just like, what did I just fucking tell you at halftime? You absolute jackasses. That's what it felt like. It didn't, I don't even know if he did do anything or not with the Devers thing. I think it was, we can lose the game right here. And I think Cora realized that like this could snowball to the point where we just never get back in this. I'm going to go out there, make a bigger deal of something than probably needs to be done, and it will probably work. And to your point, Steve, it feels like Cora's been managing this whole season like it's been a playoff game. Yeah. Like I can't remember it to end. It doesn't always mean let me go show up a player or get him to lock in. But just the way he's been using like double switches and strategically having ghost runners be different guys.
Well, yeah. How many fucking pitches did he pull Pivetta at? And he wasn't 70. Even like pitching poorly. Yeah, 70-something pitches.
Well, it's because that he knew, and this goes back to that quote I mentioned earlier. Like they are not waiting around. Like they're not going to keep pushing guys. I think at this point when they feel like the bullpen can pick it up because they're not going to let a game or two get away because that's what it's going to be at the end of the season. It's going to be a game or two which defines whether you're outside the wild card or not. And I think for Pivetta as a whole, I think Pivetta, first off, he hit the knee when he gave up the second homer in classic fashion where he goes down. But Pivetta knew in the bullpen his stuff wasn't very good today. Like Cora said, he was like, in the bullpen, the stuff was down. He kind of realized it. And when we've seen Pivetta be in that state, he starts nibbling. He's not attacking with the fastball. What did you see after that? He started attacking guys again and getting after him, even with the velo down. And Cora always says, hey, even when you're not at your best, if you attack guys the way you do, even when you're sitting 94, 95, they're still going to swing and miss plenty. And then all of a sudden, Pivetta is looking like the pitcher he usually is when he's on. It's just the stuff was down a couple ticks.
And this is a huge part of AC's value and why you extend him for 3 years. He's got books on all these guys. And I think he thinks this stuff in real time faster than any other manager, where it's like, if I go out right now and I say the right magic words, it's going to get him to this state, and that's where I need him. Right now, he's a little below where I need him. And that's the stuff that like really gets me excited as a fan, because you don't always see that and have a manager push the right button at the right time. Clearly, it worked. Whatever he said worked in the finale. I mean, obviously, it had an impact. So it's cool to see.
Love my manager. That's my goddamn manager right there. The story today, outside of the Alex Cora mound visit with Nick Pivetta in the second inning, was obviously Wilyerrrrrrr and him hitting that first home run. I was like, I guess I didn't pick up on it right away. I didn't see the dugout stuff. I saw him, like the Nesson camera zoomed in on his face when he was standing in right field after he had given up the home run, or after he hit the home run. And I could see in his eyes, like he had been crying. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Because he also, in that at bat, he fouled the ball off his instep. So I was like, man, did it really hurt that bad? Like, fuck, that's not good that he's out there. I mean, take him out of the game. So I didn't really pick up on the dugout stuff, but they replayed it several times. It was clear that, you putting together the pieces, that obviously something had happened in his personal life. We find out after the game that his grandmother had passed away the night before. He hits the home run. He's in tears in the dugout, gets embraced by Jason Varitek, and David Hamilton came over. And then later in the game, I think like the way that Cora described it in the postgame was, we had known about like his grandmother not being in good health, and we didn't know that she had passed, but then you kind of put two and two together. And his at bat where he homered, he hadn't hit a home run in the big leagues off a lefty ever. And it was a lefty on the mound. And he just, like, if it weren't for the personal connection part of it, he probably would have gotten lifted from the game. But Cora was like, yeah, I mean, we kind of just sensed that something special was about to happen. So I let him go up there to hit against the lefty, and he fucking hit another home run. So like that just go like, that's another like feel thing with Alex Cora, that you're just like, it's not like, you just don't hear about that shit with other managers. Like it, like other,
sounds like a movie script or something
Yeah.
like that. The Netflix doc, this moment, if they were there for it, oh my God.
yeah,
Talk about, that's a whole episode.
right. Like you have a manager who otherwise would have lifted this hitter because he's never hit a home run in the big leagues off of a lefty, had already homered earlier in the game, and knew that something happened in his personal life, a tragedy, and he let him go up there to hit, and he hit another home run. Like that's incredible. That's awesome.
It was cool to see how everyone in the dugout reacted after the first homer too. Like you could tell David Hamilton didn't know what was going on. He asks him, he gives him a hug, embraces him. Varitek, I mean, you're never gonna see Jason Varitek going over hugging somebody during a game. So I was like, all right, that Jared, to your point, I didn't really notice it either when it was going on. I was like, all right, Varitek's hugging, something's going on. Varitek doesn't just like hug guys randomly in the dugout. So Cora mentioned that in the post game and is like felt like something good was gonna happen there. And just credit to Wilyerrrrrr. I mean, obviously the emotions come out after the first homer, but to keep those down and then go out and hit a bomb again, I mean, the first 2-homer game of his career, that's really difficult to do. So I think we know what's going to be coming up here, but he was the story of the game, obviously.
I think like when you talk about the teammate stuff too, because in the moment they didn't show, like, it looked like David Hamilton was coming over and like asking what's up. The post game showed it a ton. Like he hugged him and like spoke in his ear, and it kind of just speaks to where this team is at and how much they kind of all care for each other, that brotherhood. Because then everybody was kind of going up, and you saw the whole dugout ready when he came after the second homer. But I thought post game, it was really hard to watch that entire scene play out where they start asking him. And maybe you guys know I'm ignorant. The translator's name that was with him, dude, he was about to cry translating for Abreu. Like he was having a hard time getting the words out, almost harder than Wilyerrrrrr was. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, holy shit. Like you just feel the heaviness of the moment. If you haven't seen the clip, I assume Nesson has posted it at this point, like they usually do. It was hard to watch, but that's what that kind of situation is. But the fact that he'd even get emotional on the field after the first one, I don't know how he kept it together. After the second one, I was ready to start crying because you had the people on Twitter from like, Venezuela reaching out being like, hey, I know Wilyerrrrr's family, his grandmother passed away. And that message was starting to like spread all over. When was he crying in the dugout? I thought it was after the first one. Am I wrong?
It was after
the first one. After the second one, he was
okay.
like tight. Like he looked like, hey, I'm locked in. Like this is what it is. I let it get to me earlier. And I was like, damn, dude, after the second one, like it would have just been pouring. Like this is a fucking moment where it's beyond anything just me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was super serious after this. I mean, internally, that has to be the best feeling ever. Like that's the ultimate dedicate a homer to someone type deal. And just the game. But yeah, the Will Fleming, I sent it to you, Jared. I mean, what a call by Will Fleming.
Fastball, cutter, slider.
3-1. Swing and a drive into right field. It is back and it is gone! Wilyerrrrrrr does it again. Emotion pouring out of him as he rounds the bases. A 3-run homer, a look to the heavens, and it is 6-2 Red Sox.
Well, yeah, you're talking about emotional hit. Oh, that was beautiful. 3-1. I think it was a little breaking ball, whether it was the cutter or slider. I haven't really seen much of Pennington. But Abreu stays on it, doesn't pull off it again on that bat against a lefty, building confidence against lefties. And that is a huge, huge hit here for the Red Sox to put him up big now, up 4.
And Alex Cora, so emotional, fired up with him in the dugout. Wilyer's got the marathon medal around his neck. Here's Dom Smith, who takes a strike right down the middle. That's one of the cool moments of the entire season. And now, Lou, it's more smiles than tears.
Yeah. Very cool day here for Wilyerrrrrr. Obviously, not in that sense, because obviously something maybe happened off the field, but the way he has come out here and swung the bat. Homer in the 4th, 3-run shot here in the 6th, and right now he's pretty much bathing in ketchup.
He is indeed. Here's Tom Smith. I was just thinking the same thing. That is fouled off on the third base side. It is cinched if the Red Sox win this game.
Oh, drizzle me. This is
That's awesome. That's great.
Dude, Will like reminds you why we love being Sox fans, like why we care so much. Like when you get a call like that, it's like, yes, like that's what that moment was. That swing won the series basically, and they needed that win. And they obviously, I think we kind of started figuring out with Willie or something was going on. We didn't exactly know what was going on during the game, but clearly they knew with the radio call. That was A+ by Will.
It's good shit. Good shit. Yeah, there was also a reference to drizzling by Mike Monaco on the NESN broadcast. Also, shout out to the MLB Social for referencing drizzling that ketchup after the series win today. So, good shit. People are excited. People should be excited. I mean, this fucking Red Sox team has to make the playoffs.
They have to. Too many awesome things have happened.
They have to. I mean, the Netflix thing, I mean, that would just be the perfect ending. You know? It would be great. Anything else from today's game? David Hamilton hit a bomb that was like 20 rows up.
Him and Duran both needed those badly. Duran had been like very quietly not producing as he had been the rest of the season. Not that he's been bad series by any stretch.
But the injury scare in the series, like seeing it after that was the biggest thing to me.
For sure. I seen him in the lineup today, and I knew he was going to force himself in there, but seeing him in the lineup and then having that kind of power.
What's it going to take for him to take a day?
I think he needs to be dead. Yeah, I think if he dies, he probably won't be in the lineup.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
That's what scared me in the second game. I was like, he's talking himself into this game. Like, unless he could not walk, he's going to find a way to stay in here. Like, you have to protect him from himself.
I thought it was a bit of, like, I didn't think he was as hurt as some people were making it out to be. And obviously, we saw today he wasn't. But he grimaced. And when he was taking big hacks later, I didn't notice another grimace. You know what I mean? And with the Casas injury earlier in the year, that's what I was looking for.
Me too. But apparently, one of the beat reporters had it. His whole torso is all wrapped up right now. Like, so whatever he's dealing with, I don't know. I'm not acting like I'm a doctor or anything like that.
You talk to one beat reporter, Tristan Casas can't breathe without feeling like there's 17 knives in his lungs. You talk to another one, he's the healthiest guy alive. So,
I mean, it's all from him,
was pissed.
I know. I know. That was very funny.
Wait, what did Cora say?
Cora was mad. Cora brought
him into the principal's office pretty much.
He basically was like, I'm getting texts from people asking, like, what the fuck are you doing to this kid? Like, he's saying this is the pain he's dealing with. And I'm like, are we on the same page here? But, you know, he's like, I know he makes jokes and all that, but basically, you know, chill out. Like,
it's
you know,
all
people
fun
are
and
starting
games,
to think
right? But to a certain point, like when I get messages from people asking, are you guys taking care of this kid? I think we're doing everything the right way. So we talk to him and hopefully that's the end of gunshots and knives.
I mean, dude, the quote is... the quote's one of the funniest quotes I think a baseball player's maybe ever said. Like,
sometimes
one-ups
I read
himself
stuff.
constantly.
Cora said, sometimes I read stuff and I'm like, are we on the same page here? That one caught me off guard. We had a good conversation with Tristan. He's fine. I mean, like,
which, okay.
I literally, like, I mean, we did a whole segment on Casas and the people that were like, oh man, like he's Like he could be back right now. Like he's milking this and, like he's taking too long. And then it becomes a little bit more difficult to defend when he's like, yeah, it feels like I'm getting stabbed with a knife. And then Cora's like, no, we talked. He's fine.
So Casas clarified
also said
today.
He was fine.
Yeah. The next day, I don't get it.
They were both the same day. It was the morning and night. He was like, the morning he was getting stabbed, and then at night he was fine. And that's when everyone was like, what?
Yeah, Cotillo and Bradford had that he was fine, and then there was one of the reporters down there who had the knife comment. Casas explained it today. And listen, as a Casas fanboy, I'll be the first person to tell you, I don't think he's handled some of this stuff very well during this, injury situation. Whether it was the visualization, dry swing stuff when he was messing with that, whether it was him setting the timelines publicly when the Red Sox didn't want to do it. But he said today, he's like, there has been an uptick in pain when I'm swinging out there. I'm feeling it. Like, that is part of the process here. But he's like, I didn't realize it until I started playing games. So he's playing through pain here. This is part of the whole process for him. And he's hit a double on back-to-back days. But he said it himself. He's like, listen, if I didn't think I could handle it, I'd call it and I'd let you know. But right now, like, I'm good enough to be out there and I'm going to keep pushing because that's just the kind of guy I am.
Some of the Casas quotes,
pain.
I wish I saw the video instead of the tweet. Because for anyone that didn't see the quote, it was right now when I make contact with the ball, it feels like someone's stabbing me with a knife right in the ribs. Right when it happened, I felt like I got shot with a gun, so it's dulled down. At face value, that's hilarious for a player to say that it felt like he got shot with a gun. Like, what's his reference point for that?
Stabbed.
No, I'm saying, like, so Tristan's been shot with a gun before? Is that how he knows what that feels like? I just think a lot of times with Tristan, he enjoys the attention, but he's also good when the eyes are on him to a certain degree. Tyler, I agree with you. I think some of this can get a little bit aggressive where you don't want your manager having to reply to these texts being like, the kid's all right. Like, dude, we're trying to make the playoffs here. We can't have like a rehab assignment be, producing quotes that are having me answer 20 texts that my top, not prospect, but top guy that we're getting back is okay. But I don't know, you take all of it with Tristan Casas. That's how it goes.
Hi, Steve.
I know I cut out there, but no, just saying that it's Tristan's going to do Tristan stuff. This comes with the territory. I didn't know until now that AC was upset. I didn't just finding that out. So,
yeah, I don't know. I get the frustration from Cora. I mean, like if the dude's saying, yeah, I'm out there taking swings and it feels like I'm getting shot and stabbed immediately. Like my first reaction was shut this guy down. Like, what are we doing?
So fast.
Yeah. Like, why are we risking next year at this point? If he's been out since April, why would we have him come back and further injure himself and put 2025 in jeopardy? Like, just shut it the fuck down. Dob Smith is doing a fine job. Whatever. We roll forward. Like, I'm not trying to jeopardize a whole nother season with this dude.
No.
And then I thought it was the next day. Apparently it was the same day. And he was like, no, I'm fine. Like, where do these quotes come from?
Well,
what's the truth? What's the truth?
He's just got such a unique sense of humor. I don't know if anyone's ever had this, sense of humor or whatever you want to call it, but I think he kind of enjoys saying stuff like this because this whole process for him, I'm sure, has been a lot. And maybe he can lighten the mood a little bit by saying just ridiculous quotes. But I hope it doesn't feel like that. And then if he's saying it doesn't feel like that, then you think, why are you saying it? Why would you say that to a reporter? Obviously, that quote's going to be everywhere. Like, you're Tristan Casas. You're that dude.
I don't take anything he says seriously.
No, same.
Like before the NBA finals, they put out a video like, who do you got in the finals? And he was like, I got Mavericks in 4. And I had multiple people send it to me like, you got to get this guy out of here. He doesn't get it. I was like, you don't get it. You're the one who doesn't get it. Yeah. Obviously, he doesn't think he has no idea he was on the fucking Dallas Mavericks. He has no idea.
All he knows is baseball. That's all this kid cares about.
He was doing that to troll and to reverse jinx. Like, I didn't think he was getting stabbed, but I did have the same reaction as Jared, where it was like, well, if he's in any pain, let alone the stabbing, if he's just in any pain, maybe let's slow roll it, because we did also go from the Red Sox from, it's going to be September to, he might be back in a week. Like, that was the Red Sox. They were the ones who fucked up the timeline most recently.
Well, see, that's where I kind of sit there with Casas, and I do wonder if there's been a disconnect, right? Like, you go back to, like you said, when people were leaking things to Sean McAdam, the Red Sox, saying, probably September, right? Like, if everything goes right, we're hoping we get him around then. Is Casas in the pain, like the tolerance where the Red Sox kind of like, hey, from everything we're looking at, you're not going to do any more damage, but there is pain you're going to play through. Casas is like, damn, this still fucking hurts a lot. I'm willing to give it a go. In the last couple weeks, he's just kind of continued to adjust, because for him to get in game and be like, oh no, like there's an uptick of pain. So clearly there's some truth to what you were saying. It's not just being fine. You're feeling more pain than you did before now that you're playing in games. What is the balancing of that? Was there a point where Casas was like, hey, this is difficult, and the Red Sox are like, hey, this is something you just got to adjust to at this point. Like, you're not going to get more injured. I don't know. It makes me wonder whether they were on the same page through this whole rehab process or not.
I don't know how he can say I'm not going to get more injured when he got injured by just swinging.
That's what the team claims, but I agree with you. Like, mentally, I don't understand how that makes sense either.
Yeah, like the injury.
It could be that it's healed. Like, the injury could be healed, but it could still have like a dull pain.
Yeah, lingering pain type of thing. That might just get better if not better, but you might just get more used to it type deal. I don't know. I mean, the fact I read this quote and I wasn't even worried about his health, like because of how many of these quotes we've gotten from Tristan Casas. Like, it's at this point where it's like, oh, he's just being Tristan, saying he gets, a knife to the stomach and he gets shot. Like, that's what he says. There is a beauty in. This is when you see the flip of like, oh, sometimes it is nice when players give you no answers. Like, I get, because I'm always wanting them to say more. And then when the more becomes this, it's like, oh, okay, I do understand both sides of it. But Casas has to be treated as his own entity and can't be compared to anybody else.
Very weird. Very weird situation. I don't know.
Did you think this was funny at all, though? There's some funny to this, right?
No. I the first time that I heard the quotes, I was like, shut him down. Like, what are we doing?
Oh,
I think he was just being honest. I really think he was just being honest.
There's not any goofing going on here. This is 100% serious. There's no way this is 100% serious.
He doesn't.
He was speaking hyperbole, in my opinion, but I think he was like, yeah, this is like sometimes when you're in pain and you feel something, you're saying like, dude, it feels like I got fucking shot. I've said stuff like that before. But, literally to that point. But I do think Casas being like, no, I'm in pain. And the Red Sox are like, this does not look great on our part here if you're saying something's bothering you. I think that's where the sensitivity is. But if you claim there's nothing that's going to happen out of him continuing to swing, then what's the fucking problem? If you know he's going to be in pain, acknowledge it and move forward.
Well, this is where I side mostly with Casas, because there is bubbling under all of this a contract negotiation. And that's where it feels like a lot of this lies, is the Red Sox are like, hey, if you want a contract, get back on the field. And Casas is like, hey, I'm going to get a worse contract if I get... Remember Xander, when Xander played that whole second half with a broken wrist, and people were like, get this guy the fuck out of here. He went from leading the league in batting average to finishing the year like 280 because his wrist just fell off. But he played through it, and the Red Sox rewarded him by letting him go to the Padres. But that's where I think Casas needs to be like, hey, man, I'm going to protect me because I don't know for sure you're going to reward me if I do it your way.
But he's always going to do things his way, right? Like, Tyler, you talk about the stuff he said leading up. Like, he's going to set a date that they probably wish he didn't say. And he's going to say a quote like this that AC is going to be like, brother, like, come on, man. Like, I don't think he thinks for a second before he says words.
He's too honest in certain ways. And this is a point where they're like, dude, we just prefer if you didn't talk about what you're feeling. And he's like, well, this is what it feels like. I'm playing through it. Like, this is kind of what it is. And I get both sides of it. I get Cora being like, hey, we don't need this popping up and people questioning whether we're doing it right. But at the same time, like, Breslow mentioned that was going to be part of the process. So what's the fucking problem here? We all knew he was going to be playing through pain.
Yeah, there's also nothing that says they're really doing it right?
What's the past example, right, of someone you
not even for this injury, just injuries in general. I don't know that
Trevor Story's sounding like he's going to make it back more by the day right now. It's getting kind of crazy.
Wasn't there a report last night that they kind of ruled it out? Not completely, but they said it's unlikely that he'll return this year.
They said chances are slim, but he's continuing to progress. That was inside of it. Like, hey,
there's just no way.
More steps forward as we go along here.
You want to make sure they don't make the playoffs. So Jared, when you review his contract, he's got 1 year left. Do I have that right?
Oh, we fucking went over this.
Trevor Story?
A 4-year deal. The options at the end of the 4th year.
All right. So here is how it's officially written. The Red Sox signed Trevor Story to a 6-year, $140 million deal with an option for 2028. So he gets 22.5 next year. He gets 25 and 26. He gets 25 and 27. And then in 2028, he has a $25 million club option with a $5 million buyout. Trevor Story may opt out of his contract after the 2025 season. If he does so, Boston may negate his decision by exercising the 28 option if they really don't want him to go.
Gotcha.
Which he's never opting out of at this point.
Oh, thank you, Tyler. Thank you. Thank you for having the courage to say that.
Tyler, that's the take of the day, bro. You gotta cool down with that stuff.
Woo.
That's how your house is going to burn down, Tyler. Take that hot. That's yeah.
This is why when you're piecing this infield together, and I think it does play into the Wilyer conversation, right? Where, you know, a lot of people are like, damn, look at the player Wilyer's turning into. Someone has to get dealt from that outfield. Is there a way to make it work with everybody here, including Roman Anthony, Meyer, and Teal, where, you know, is Raffaele your shortstop, which would feel like a disservice to him, but Meyer to third, Story to second, you know, however, maybe you want to put Story at short because you still believe he's one of the most elite defenders at the position in the game. Devers to DH. You could see people
eating
trying
a
to put
big
these puzzle
contract
pieces.
is inevitable. Eating a big contract is inevitable because it's either going to be Yoshida, it's going to be Story. Yeah, like there's just too many bodies right now.
Probably going to be both.
I mean, there's one outfielder I feel like is obvious and no one wants to say it.
What, to trade?
When you start doing the math looking forward, and it's the guy whose speed is his biggest strength, because that does not age well.
You're moving Duran?
No, I know what he's... Yeah.
Over Wilyer? Yeah.
Interesting.
Wait, which one?
Over Wilyer. Wilyer versus Duran. Because even if you look at it, Raphael is paid. So unless they trade him, which I guess is on the table, it just doesn't seem super likely because when you talk versatility, he's comfortably your most versatile player, even if Connor Wong's trying to take that from him. With Duran, it's like, this is his most games too, also, like in a season that he's played. Wilyer's got more control. Wilyer's, what's the OPS right now? They've got to be close.
860?
Yeah, Duran's a 132 OPS plus. If you look at Abreu this season, it's a 125 before today.
Okay, and so they're probably tied now, right?
Roughly in the same ballpark.
Probably right around 130 each. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I don't think it's that much of a conversation. Duran's been awesome this year. I'd love to have this conversation more in the offseason, but it's been Wilyer for people who've been having this conversation. It's like, oh, you just deal Wilyer. I don't know if it's that easy. I really don't.
I think Duran, though, you have put yourself in a spot here. And obviously what he does in center field, there's a conversation of, would you be wasting him, moving him somewhere else? If you're just going to say, hey, we need Raffaele in center field, is it a waste to have him playing left field when we see he's an elite defensive center fielder? But what Duran has kind of become is the identity of the Boston Red Sox. Right? Like, let's be real.
That takes away from what Devers has been and done, and also what you've already dubbed the three guys coming up to be. Like, that's what he feels like he's in the middle there.
Yeah, I don't think you can crown the big three in any identity point, but I think when you see how Cora has framed, and you know, Alex Cora is going to be here the next 3 years now. We know that. When he's kind of said Jarren Duran is the player we're kind of telling everyone to be like, you kind of want to follow in his footsteps, what he's kind of grown into as this leader for the younger guys on the team now. That feels like an almost impossible piece to move at this point, in my opinion.
I don't think it's impossible because the last guy they would have said that about was Xander, and they had no problem letting him walk out the door.
But you don't have to worry about paying Duran right now.
The odds of them trading Jarren Duran are immensely slim.
They feel so low.
I feel like you're more likely to get burned trading Wilyer.
Why does one have to go? Am I missing why one has to go? I don't disagree that Story and Yoshida could just be gone, and then that opens that up, right?
You're still bringing up another shortstop, and regardless, like there's a logjam even if you got rid of those guys.
Yeah, and it's very left-handed, which I know, Cole, you don't care about, but
don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
they do.
No, of course they do, and it's understandable. But it's like Anthony's an outfielder. You want to talk about right-handed? That's where Campbell comes in, and he's either going to play second or outfield. So even if you're trying to move guys, you're getting there's another spot getting taken away, regardless.
someone's getting moved in a massive trade, whether it's the right-handed bat or the top of the rotation starter, they're going to need this offseason. This is where the package is going to start. This player you pick out of this pile, some people may say, hey, fuck it, trade Roman Anthony, because we've seen these guys who can already do it at the big leagues. I'm not saying that's me, but there's people who will push that. Steve?
I'm just saying the assumption that prospects are going to be XYZ is just an assumption. Like, I like having the known thing and leaning towards that versus assuming this guy coming up is going to be the next Ted Williams. Like, I don't know. I'm just told if we're going to compare things of like known.
It's a conversation. It really is.
But you're also talking about the Red Sox, who have continuously told you that they're trying to cut payroll. So do you think they're going to side with the more expensive guy? Yeah,
no, Duran's
going to be the most expensive guy we're talking about. Even just through arbitration, he'll be more expensive than Anthony and Rafael even.
That's why I don't want to hear about a big three anymore. Like, it's Nuttown. It is beyond 3 guys. It's 5 deep. 6 if you want to count Luis Perales, who fucking.
No, I thought you were gonna say Miguel Blaze.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know that he's. I don't know that he's part of Nuttown yet. I don't know that he's part of Nuttown.
He's 20. So he's 20. Roman Anthony's 20, but Roman Anthony's knocking on the door to Worcester, where he's still in Greenville. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah, he's
sure.
not like
one of them's progressing like a normal 20-year-old. The other one is Roman Anthony.
Yeah, Nuttown is 5 deep.
And I don't disagree with your point, Steve, that it's a prospect versus a proven guy. But even if we want to talk proven, it's kind of just this year at this.
Oh no, and same with Wilyer. I mean, of course, he doesn't have other years to prove it. Like, he's only he's only had a year to prove it. But like,
he's hitting like he did when he came up last year. That's the crazy part.
Yeah,
that guy is who he is.
Yeah,
and at a certain point, you just find like if you got a bunch of what team is like, shit, we got too many talented guys. Like, normally
every sport they do this. Every sport, it drives me nuts. And think about the Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder were like, we can't pay James Harden $48 million over 4 years. That's insane.
Of all
like,
sports,
this does happen.
Like, this is the one where you can still hold on to all these talented guys. I mean, Jaren's got 4 more years left to control, which is crazy to think. I had to double check that. But no, I mean, these are all fair things. It's probably a more realistic conversation in the offseason, but it's not a bad problem to have.
Also, to the point about like the whole outfielders thing and having Wilyer be even someone in consideration. Like, if I told you that Roman Anthony was going to be a big leaguer that hit 275 with an 856 OPS, you'd be like, fuck yeah, like that. Yeah, sign me up. And Wilyer is already doing it. So
yeah,
like,
Wilyer has one flaw, and it's that he's never seen a cutoff man in his life. That's the only flaw.
He's also metric-wise an elite defender. Like, that is part of the equation here. It's like, this isn't a guy who's barely getting by in right field. No, he's well above average in right field.
And at Fenway right, too. Like, I love Wilyer. And this is like the dumbest talking point, but him being like, I'm going to go head fucking first into that seat. I don't give a fuck. Like, that means so much to me. And it's easily the dumbest thing. Duran does that, too. He has no care for his body at all. Like, that plays in Boston. It plays in a lot of markets, but we love it in Boston. When Jared made the Trot Nixon Cup, I see more and more of that every day. Every time he plays, more people are like, I've seen this before. It just didn't have like this Venezuelan mullet.
That's right.
I still can't believe he didn't come out of that game. How did he broke his head?
You look at the Corbin Burns trade last year. That was an elite starter with 1 year of control left. Obviously, the Red Sox don't necessarily want to target that. But he was essentially traded for Joey Ortiz, who was a major leaguer, and DL Hall, who had bounced back and forth and I think is in their bullpen now. If you start looking at teams want that, especially in the offseason, they want a guy who's major league ready. And with Duran having 4 years of control coming off this season, I don't know if there's going to be a better time to sell. I'm not saying sell him, but I don't know if there's a better time.
I think he's too tight to the core. I think how you've built him up, not only on the field, but off the field, is this kind of leader of these guys, this young group. It feels, and the way Core frames him as your leadoff hitter, the guy that they know they can pencil in there, who's playing out there every single day, it feels like Duran's at the center of that culture they've built this year. Like, when you think about the Red Sox culture and what this team is, Jarren Duran's the first name that comes to your mind.
Yeah, Raffy can be the best player, and Duran's like the cover guy.
He is the best player.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that can like you can have the best player and then also have Duran who checks all these other boxes that matter.
I don't even necessarily disagree. It's just more. I also don't think you can romanticize 1 year over a 5 to 10 year plan.
Of course not.
It's a hard. This is, and when you go back to what Craig Breslow said at that presser,
any stretch of the imagination, not
one of the
easy at all.
hardest.
Derek Jeter was the face of the Yankees for many years. Was never close to being the best player on the team.
No, he sucked mostly.
Actively hurt them though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Duran doesn't hurt the team. He makes the team better.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, Jeter wasn't even the best player on his side of the infield.
No.
And I do think when you look at, like, we go back to the Red Sox being in on Garrett Crochet, right? Like, that's not going to be the Corbin Burns deal, right? We're not talking 1 year and you're getting a guy who, all the idiots who thought Corbin Burns was going to decline this year and, turn into a number 3 starter or whatever it was. For Crochet, you're going to be giving out that Chris Sale-esque, package where, pick your Yohan Moncada and, configure that entire package or however it comes together. That's the decision you're going to have to make here. But you're picking Moncada or Devers. Which one? And that's kind of what it feels like with this outfield conversation.
I mean, if I'm Duran, I'm like,
talent.
I got to get, when am I getting my contract? This is where, if I'm a baseball player, I just hate the structure of contracts where this guy leads the majors in at-bats. He's going to maybe start every game, all-star game MVP, and I still have to do this arbitration shit for 4 more years. Like, that's crazy.
Oh. Yeah, it's hell. It's absolute hell.
But you know what isn't hell? Drinking a Blue Moon.
Oh, it's the opposite.
That's the best. It's the opposite. It's heaven. It's a little piece of heaven. Some beers can say that they're brewed for baseball, but only Blue Moon can. But only Blue Moon is brewed by baseball. Beer and baseball, they just go together, and no beer goes better than the one that was literally born in a ballpark. Blue Moon was created at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. It's the natural choice for opening day and all season long. Had some Blue Moons at the Metallica concert over the weekend at Gillette. Just absolutely, what a great evening. Metal, and Blue Moon. From its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that's one-of-a-kind? Its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience perfect for spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful hazy color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Bring the ballpark to you with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's a one-of-a-kind every time. Get Blue Moon delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to see your delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Is that time, I think?
Mm-hmm. Suck one.
No, suck one.
Potential Series MVP. Series MVP.
The Clark's Ketchup Series MVP brought to you by Clark's Ketchup Drizzle. That ketchup. Boy, do I have some bad news, fellas.
Ooh.
No vote from Kevin Youkilis again.
Oh.
So I think, it's nothing personal, but I think we have to go somewhere else. We have to decide who gets Kevin Youkilis's vote. I believe that's 3 straight that he's missed. And it was
Did he reach out to you to apologize from the last episode?
No. Like I normally will text him and be like, what's your vote? Who you got? Who do we like? And this time I texted him a GIF of someone saying, "Are you there?" And he didn't even answer that. So I don't know. Yeah, I feel like we have to make a very difficult decision here, and we have to find someone to take over his voting privileges. Steve?
I'm going to say what you floated. I think it's a great idea. I think Lenny DiNardo would be a really good fit. He would care, and he'd put a good twist on it.
Coley?
You know who I want back.
Our manager?
That's right.
I mean, he also had moments where he didn't always vote too. Like, I want someone that I know I can count on. And I'm not saying I can't count on Alex Cora, but he definitely did not have a 100% voting attendance either.
As a man of the people, I would feel wrong if I didn't put this out there. Are we out on bringing in the subreddit or the Discord?
I've said no to that 1,000 times. I might suspend you for that. No, you
I have to ask for them.
I mean, it would just be such a pain in the ass to have to do that versus like send someone a text and be like, who do you got? And then get the response versus put together a poll, crowdsource the answers, wait for all the responses, and then tally it out. Like, that's just a pain in the balls.
It would be hard when there's not a clear one either. Like, obviously, there's not a lot of times where more than 4 choices are up in the air, but
yeah, it's not that I don't
trouble.
think that their opinion matters. It's just, it would be a pain in the fucking balls to crowdsource that information and have it ready when we do the podcast right after the game ends.
The more I think about it, Lenny seems like the obvious selection here.
I was for him last episode.
Jake?
Yeah, I'm good with Lenny. I feel like obviously it would be sick to have the fans vote, but it's just too much of a logistical nightmare.
Yeah.
He just celebrated his 7th year at Nesson. 7 years doing Sox stuff. I mean, obviously, plus playing.
7 years.
I heard he split his pants. I'm sorry, Lenny.
I'll have to talk to him. I'll give him a call
about his pants.
Yeah,
I'll give him a call about the pants.
He ripped him in his garage.
I said Mike.
Got
Monaco,
any other updates on the pants, Tyler?
Like Mike Monaco
khaki
is
slacks.
maybe not watching every single game.
They cost about $49.99.
TC has the same pants, I heard.
I was going to say, what about the other half of Tyler's favorite podcast, 310 to Left?
Spear, I feel like he...
That's beneath him.
Yeah, this is something he wouldn't care about at all.
Yeah, I don't think he would give a fuck.
No.
I don't know that he would have the same passion for ketchup.
If this was like obscure stat of the series, he'd be like, yeah, I got you. But I'm not doing series MVP.
Oh, brother.
I'm going to put this out there, and I'm hated by the guy. But with stats, is that also below him? He hates me, but I'm putting it out there.
No, we hate you too. That's
a good take.
That's not unique.
Not just him.
Yeah,
it hurts.
Yeah, it's not just him. Yeah,
I don't hate the idea. I just don't think I don't think they would do it.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think he.
Devers
what,
Enjoyer.
Tyler?
Give Devers Enjoyer a vote. That's my final take.
I mean, stats isn't a bad idea. It's just I don't know.
You've had way worse ideas, but I still think it's Lenny. It can be Lenny and Cora, by the way. It doesn't have to.
That's too many votes.
No, all right, just Lenny.
Lenny and Cora, Tyler's gets taken away.
Genuinely,
that's fine.
I don't think Cora wants to vote anymore.
No, for sure. What about Masterson?
I was going to say
Justin.
Yeah.
He's watching every game.
He's grinding.
I mean,
what about Hazel May? We ever factor that in? Hazel May, maybe.
Yeah.
May would be on the.
Just the trot dog on the ground.
The trot dog. Yeah, trot dog's got takes.
Oh. It's trot dog.
Tina Servasio? I don't know. Just throwing names out here.
What about like an 05 Bill Miller.
Who is he? Is he with the Marlins now?
I think so.
Yeah.
No,
He
yeah,
looked
'cause
really old,
as
remember?
fuck.
He looks
Yeah.
so old. Yeah.
I just want someone who's passionate about it.
What about Catherine? We know she's watching.
Is she? She's
Dang.
there. No doubt.
You would know.
Yeah, she's there. I don't know. I mean, I don't oppose female representation on the panel.
Is there
Hazel
a
May.
player you'd involve, Jared, at this point in time?
Is there a what?
A player?
No, you
Winky?
Winky.
can't. Bob?
No.
I can't.
Dude does not want to
be
be here. Let's be real.
Yes, he does.
Whoa.
Well, he
There's
has the
nowhere else
beat
he'd rather
writers
be.
sobbing for him every time the trade deadline comes at this point that he needs a fresh start somewhere else.
Catillo, since that's who Tyler's talking about.
Facts.
No. No. He'd be like, by the way, sign up for my class. Oh.
I got him for you, Steve, the other day. I don't know if you saw that.
The worst thing ever is now everyone tags me in those, and I shouldn't even be saying this now. More people are going to tag me in those. Oh.
I scroll right past. I don't know why they bother you guys so much. I just go.
It's
nope, not
spam.
for
He
me.
spams the
Keeps-
timeline like
He's trying to
nobody
make
else.
money, Steve. Let the guy cook.
Yeah, but it I see that tweet. I feel like every day, T-Dog. Like it's a lot.
The class is full, he said when I asked.
I need someone I can depend on.
It's Lenny.
It is Lenny. Is Lenny a
Del
162 guy?
You thinking Del Carmen?
I think so.
Okay.
Local kid. Ben Rice. Do we need Ben Rice?
Ben Rice's family who loves the Sox.
Yes, Ben Rice's brother.
Yeah.
BRB.
DRB, get him on here.
So Don Raffaello's brother. He's a
passionate.
162 guy.
I
That's
feel
for
like
sure.
he might be biased.
Good take.
Sedon goes over 16, but like the catches do. I'm going Rafael.
He might be biased. I wonder if we could get Ramon Vasquez.
Shout out, his sister was at the game today.
Bonk.
Shout out to his sister for being at the game. Sick.
Woo!
Woo!
101, baby.
101, baby. My vote for Clark's Catch-Up Series MVP. This individual led the Red Sox this series in batting average, hitting .455. Was third on the team in on-base percentage, also .455, which means he didn't walk one fucking time. Led the team in slugging percentage, .1273. Led the team in OPS, .1727. Was third on the team in hits with 5. Led the team in home runs this series with 3. Was tied for the most runs scored with 4. Drove in the most runs with 7. The next closest was 3. Was in a 4-way tie for extra base hits with 3. Led the Red Sox with 14 total bases. Not that you care, but he led the Red Sox in exit velocity, 104. Led the Red Sox in barrel percentage, 66.7 this series. My vote for Clark's Catch-Up Series MVP is Wilyerrrrrrr, the stats powered by True Media. Coley?
I got a packet for Rafaela. Came up big in the first 2 games, even though they lost the second game. Had his, 9-game hitting streak come to an end today. Still been really, really good for the past month or so. Packet for Devers, who continues to just tear the fucking cover off the ball. Love that about him. Packet for everyone in the bullpen not named Brennan Bernardino. They were all excellent except for him. Are there any other packets to go around?
Packet to Alex Cora for the speech to Nick Pivetta. Packet to Alex Cora for allowing Wilyer to hit against a lefty.
Yeah, packet to Tyler O'Neill for being sick too, because I think that also played into making it a little easier for AC to not look for a right-hand bat. Couple packets.
A packet for the Lord, because Alex Cora said that it was the Lord worked in a mysterious way today. So packet to the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big packet for the guy upstairs. But David Hamilton, who has been scuffling as of late, not just with the home run today, but really seemed to be the first guy to go check in on Wilyer.
Yeah,
we said at the beginning of the year, even when he was struggling, good guy, David Hamilton, and he proved it today. So love that out of David Hamilton. But it's Wilyerrrrrrr pretty comfortably. I'd be a little shocked if it wasn't a sweep.
Steven?
Yeah, honestly, I'd be offended if this is not a clean sweep. Had the biggest swing in the series that clinched the catch-up. 3 of his 5 hits in the series were homers, which is pretty sick. Obviously playing with a heavy heart in the finale, getting 2 homers in a game after finding out his grandmother passed away. He's hitting .333 with a 1088 OPS since the All-Star break. Love that. Mike Clark's catch-up series MVP. It's Wilyerrrrrr.
Wow. Jake?
I got Wilyer too. He was electric, obviously. Great to see the guys supporting him in the clubhouse. And a packet to God.
Yep. T-Dog?
Yeah. If you don't vote for Wilyerrrrrr, you're a dickhead. But catch-up packet-wise, Connor Wong, 4-hit game. Hits in every single game this series. Going to first base where he never played before. Looked very competent for a guy who has never started a single game at the position. Obviously, has played a couple innings there. Nick Sogard, packet for him, who came up and got his first big league hit. Felt like a big moment in that first game where he kind of broke it open for you. Beyond that, packet to Luis Garcia for making his Red Sox debut and it going very smoothly.
Some could argue he could win this thing. He could win this thing. Get the whole MVP.
I thought about it for a hot second. I can't lie. But yeah, that Wilyer moment today was one of the cooler moments, I think, for the Red Sox in general the last couple of years. I think the whole team coming together kind of speaks of what this, young core is that is coming together. And I think when we look at the end of the year, it'll be up there, the top 3-4 moments of the whole year for everybody.
The Luis Garcia?
Yes.
Okay. Steve?
Really quick packet to the Section 10 fans that were in attendance tweeting out the shirt pics. This might be the most that we saw for one series this season. Great job.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Tyler was not just spreading the vid down there, he was spreading passion for the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the rest of the panel. First up, Will Middlebrooks. Wilyer. Dave O'Brien. Abreu. Tom Caron. Wilyerrrrrr. Enough said. Jemai Webster. Wilyerrrrrr. Nothing from Houck. And then we have a combo of, I believe, Lou Merlone, Will Fleming, and Mike Monaco.
Woo! Yeah.
Is that everyone? Jemai, Will, OB, TC, Houck, Will, Lou. Yeah, okay. All right. So, without further ado, the Clark's Ketchup closers. Will Fleming, Mike Monaco, Lou Merlone.
Stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
What is up, y'all motherfuckers? Time to drizzle deep in the heart of Texas. I'm with Loomer. The Red Sox take 2 of 3 from the Texas Rangers. Lou's gotten over the hiccups, and Sox get a big win. I think we're going to have a pretty easy MVP pick, but Loomer, Always great to be in the Lone Star State with you.
It sure is. It's great putting up 7. That way we can only give up 6 solo shots and still win the game.
So you're here. We talked about drizzling on the air, and we're with somebody else who, shares that passion for the ketchup. Mikey, what the fuck is up?
Boys, greetings and salutations. Monaco here just survived the Millar Middlebrooks Karen experience. I lived to tell about it. It was glorious. Red Sox series win. It's big. It's great to be talking ball with you guys.
Now listen, this thing that the starting pitchers are doing is not sustainable. I mean, they give up more home runs in this series. The starters have given up more homers than any staff since the All-Star break. But Lou, with the way the offense is, they're finding a way to survive.
Yeah, they are. They're swinging it, especially against righties. I feel like there isn't a righty. I mean, look what they did to Seattle and Evaldi here today. So, but the pitcher's got to stop giving up home runs. I can't really explain it. I don't know. I've been begging for a double in the gap, like just a 2-0 double in the gap rather than 2-0 solo shot. But they'll continue to work. Can I jump in my MVP real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, because obviously a very emotional day for this man. He didn't really start game 2. Came in late, but game 1, Wilyerrrrrrr, 2-run bomb out of the gate. Today, 2 bombs. Obviously, tragedy in his family. A very emotional day for him. It's Wilyerrrrrr. And by the way, right now, has to be the favorite for Rookie of the Year. Can people wake the fuck up? Because he's number 1.
He is on an incredible tear. Mikey, these young players the Red Sox have, we saw the emotion in the dugout today. Very quickly, Abreu's becoming a star in this league.
He leads all Major League rookies in OPS. Like, he's the best hitting rookie in baseball. I'm very tempted to give my pick, though, to the chef we had at dinner on Thursday night, our off day in Arlington. Guys, everyone listening out there, you think you know Angry Lou from his years on the radio?
Oh.
You don't know Angry Lou until you sit through a 2.5-hour dinner that felt like 6.
We try to order appetizers. The guy says the chef requests that we order appetizers and a meal at the same time. Listen, don't mess with an Italian and his food. If I want an appetizer, I want it now. I don't want to wait.
The pissed paisan. That's what you were.
Packets all over the place. Duran, he battles through the injury. He was awesome. It is a pretty clear pick here, Mikey. Who you got for drizzling?
Yeah, it's Abreu and the chef.
Yeah, no question. And the poolside and the golf course. An incredibly great time. Off to Kansas City. I'm going to drizzle here at the end, but this sets up the biggest series of the year.
It's massive. And, look who they're lining up against in terms of pitching. It's guys with ERAs at 3.3 or lower. It's a massive series. It's huge.
It is. It's a big series. I'm going to miss the indoor very comforts of watching a baseball game because I'm going to go to Kansas City for the next 3 days. I am going to sweat my balls off.
That makes 2 of us. Red Sox showed some serious balls in this series. We're thinking about them. Hearts go out. The Clark's Ketchup Series MVP is Wilyerrrrrrr motherfucking Abreu.
Wilyerrrrrr, Clark's Ketchup Series MVP. Steve, how many is this for Willier?
That is 3 for Wilyerrrrrr. He joins the 3+ Ketchup Club this year, which has Jaron Duran and Tyler O'Neill in it.
Shit. 3-time Clark's Ketchup Series MVP winner, Wilyerrrrrr. Congratulations to my favorite player on the Red Sox. Unequivocally. The Stop and Shop look ahead, brought to you by Stop and Shop. Before we do that, fucking Game Time. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace in Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer that it gets the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. I would suggest if you're in the area, you should go see this series. This is going to be a fun series. It's like they said, we said earlier, series of the season could be a showdown of the team that poses the greatest threat to you not making the playoffs at all. Last minute deal, save up to 60% off buying last minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or the event. Save even more when you choose a section and you let Game Time choose the seats for you. All in pricing, toggle this feature, and it shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry today. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code SECTION10 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the promo code SECTION10, SECTION10 for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price. Guaranteed. The Stop Shop look ahead. Brought to you by Stop Shop. Head on down to Stop Shop right now. Use the promo code SECTION10 to get 10 cents off each tangerine when you buy at least 5 pounds of tangerines only at Stop and Shop. This is the Red Sox and Royals. Monday, another off day on Thursday, by the way. James Paxton versus Brady Singer, Brian Bayo versus Seth Lugo, and Kutter Crawford versus Cole Reagans. This is the same fucking three that we saw against them last time, right, T-Dog?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got in game one, Brady Singer faced the Red Sox on July 14th, went 2 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 2 bombs. This was Singer's worst start of the season with a game score of only 28. It was only one of 2 starts all year in which he failed to complete 5 innings. In the 3 starts since then, 21 innings, 13 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 16 strikeouts, has not given up a home run, a 1.29 ERA, and a 2.36 FIP. Devers had the 2 hardest hit balls against him that day, the home run and the double. Dom Smith also had a home run. Red Sox were 5 for 6 on hard hit balls in the game, and the only out was 97.9 miles per hour. That was a double play that Hamilton grounded into. Seth Lugo, 13-5 with a 2.57 ERA, a 102 whip, and a 7.6 strikeouts per 9. He faced the Red Sox on the 13th. 5 innings, 10 hits, 5 earned, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, gave up a home run. This was also Lugo's worst start of the season with a game score of 32. He averages about 60. In the 3 starts since then, 23 1/3 innings, 12 hits, 8 earned, 3 walks, 11 strikeouts, 1 home run, a 3.09 ERA, a 3.30 FIP. In the game against the Red Sox, they were fucking torching this guy. They had 18 balls in play against Lugo. 13 were hard hit. As a team, they were 8 for 13 on hard hit balls. Devers had 3 of those. Yoshida had the hardest hit ball of the day. It was a single at 110.2. Duran topped 105 twice. Okay, Cole Reagans, 8-7, a 3.36 ERA, a 1.16 whip, and a 10.7 strikeouts per 9. Unlike the other 2 starters, Reagans shoved against the Red Sox in July. He's a lefty, so go figure. That's kind of what they do against the Red Sox. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He's actually struggled a little bit in the 3 starts since facing the Red Sox. 17 1/3, 16 hits, 9 earned, 7 walks, 18 strikeouts, 2 bombs, a 4.67 ERA, a 3.80 FIP. In his start against the Red Sox, he had 23 whiffs in this game, the second most in a game this season for him. 10 on his changeup. His velocity was weirdly down big time in that start. Red Sox only managed 5 hard hit balls and were 3 for 5 with a couple singles and a double. Devers had the hardest hit ball of the game for the Red Sox, 106.4, and it was a single. So that, again, is James Paxton versus Brady Singer, Brian Bayo versus Seth Lugo, Kutter Crawford versus Cole Reagans. Coley, what are you thinking? What are you thinking about this series?
I can see it going both ways because they've only won, the Red Sox still only won 2 series since the All-Star break, which is weighing heavily on me. I'm going to take 2 out of 3, but I would really like to see, you kind of saw it a little bit today with Cora not pinch hitting for lefties. Play your best 9. And Refsnyder's in that whether you're facing a righty or a lefty at the moment. Play your best 9. I don't want to see just 2 catchers in the lineup just because they both happen to hit right-handed. I'd love to see Wong get a day here. Even as good as he's been, I'd love to see him get a breather. That's what you got Jansen for. It can't be your right-handed bat. I don't want to see that again. Play your best 9, but I'm going to take 2 out of 3.
Steven?
Yeah, I hate the Royals, dude. The Royals are obnoxious. I don't say this too often. I think they're a bunch of poop heads. And I think they're phony buttholes, too. So I'm kind of sick of this team. Yeah, I said both. I know. I said I wouldn't, but I said both. MJ Melendez, by the way, I'm so sick of this guy.
Fuck that guy.
In 16 games against the Red Sox. And I'm sick of him because he hit the walk-off again. Or not a walk-off, whatever. Go ahead, 3-run homer. Ninth inning, Tigers. They hadn't scored all day, 2 outs in the ninth, and he hits a go-ahead 3-run bomb. Trash. 16 games against the Red Sox in his career. He's got a 4.11 average with a 14.08 OPS, 8 homers, 20 RBIs. So I am scared to death of that guy heading into this series. The wild card race has been an absolute pain in the ass the last 2 weeks. The Red Sox coming out of the All-Star break they lost 4 games in the standings to the Royals the first 4 days of the second half. And basically ever since then, these teams have had like the same result every day the last 2 weeks. In 10 of the last 11 days, the Red Sox and Royals have had the same result, whether it's win or loss, on the same day. So it feels like they just can't gain ground on them. Now you finally can. You play in Kansas City, where it's going to be hot, not jumping ahead here, but it really feels like this is a chance to make a statement. I think Sunday was huge. Wilyerrrrrrr's obviously the MVP. Now you have a huge series coming up against a team that you just can't, when you're not playing each other, you can't make up ground on them. You finally can now. Again, I think this team sucks. Not talent-wise, but I'm sick of them, even though it's the first year they've been good in a long time. Give me a friggin' sweep, Jared.
Wow.
Give me a Red Sox sweep, because I'm sick of these butt heads and poop faces.
Wow. Okay. Sweep for Steve.
Yeah.
T-Dog.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2 out of 3, but I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't scared, and that's for the Red Sox. I go back to James Paxton last year, and I'm probably the only person who remembers this. That last start before his season ended was against KC, where he got his head absolutely kicked in before they put him on the IL with the knee injury. So there are some flashbacks of him being back in KC and whether he's actually going to show up here. And I'll also add, this isn't the same Royals team you saw a couple weeks ago, right? That time, Hunter Harvey had just got dealt. He hadn't been active in their bullpen. Lucas Erceg wasn't in that bullpen, and they had a bottom 10 bullpen at that time. Since the All-Star break, they're 16th in ERA out of the bullpen. Now, you've remodeled yours a bit as well, so, we're going to see if it's going to be a battle between both sides. But Brian Bayo, I do believe we're going to see him continue to trend in the right direction. The Royals are a very average offense overall, 16th in weighted runs created plus. Bayo with the 4.26 ERA over the last month of July. And Kutter Crawford, the last 2 starts have been so damn miserable. If he can't look better in this one, then I do think we start to hit a crisis mode with him, especially if the Royals are hitting homers off of him. So give me 2 out of 3. I think Paxton finds a way, gets a little made up for that rough first outing where the defense let him down. Bayo shows up and continues to show why he's going to help put the team on his back. Kutter Crawford, we start raising some questions at the end of the series about, how much he can handle workload-wise this year.
Jake?
I'm going with a Red Sox sweep here to jump the Royals in the standings, get back in a playoff spot. Haven't been a lot of sweeps recently, so want to start mixing those back in.
Wow. I mean, my gut is telling me 1 out of 3 here.
Why?
They don't fucking lose. We've had a shit start to the second half. Like, you just took 2 out of 3 against the Rangers, but they're not good. They're giving us their best 3 guys. The Red Sox handed the first 2 their worst starts of the year. Like, what are the likelihood that it's going to happen again?
Offense is better than they were the last time they were in.
Yeah, the offense is
I
hot.
don't think that's unreasonable.
I think I'm going to say 2 out of 3, but I think 1 win is going to be like a 12-inning dogfight. Like a game,
like boom,
it's
boom,
boom.
boom.
Like it's going to be a game that we have no business winning. Like we're going to have one win is going to be a decisive win. 1 loss is going to be a heartbreaker, and there's going to be some sort of dogfight where the Red Sox, it feels like we stole one. Like we got it. Like we had no business winning that one, but we did. So 2 out of 3 for the Sox.
Biggest series ever between the Red Sox and Royals. Remember we talked about that last time? I think this is the one. Make sure you clear your schedules Monday to Wednesday. They're going to be talking about this globally. Yeah. This might take over the Olympics coverage, honestly. Red Sox Royals, biggest series ever.
They were talking about it in Beijing.
They were.
This morning.
Shout out 2008.
Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Get it together.
Sure. What's the weather going to be like? It's probably going to be hot, right, Steve?
It's definitely going to be hot. Weather look ahead, brought to you by Billy's Gummy Bears. Chew
You
them.
chew them with your mouth. What the fuck? What the fuck?
No, yeah, kick
What
me,
the
kick
fuck?
Kick
What
me.
the? What the fuck, Steve? What the fuck, dude?
Clean it up, man.
Are you shitting me?
You fucking me
What?
right now?
Are you fucking me? What was that? What was that? When Steve comes back from suspension, I want to know what that was. I want to know. I don't want to know what happened there.
It looks like he's ready to own up to it, though. I think this was an honest mistake. He just fucked up.
It was an honest mistake, but like, how do you make that mistake? How do you make it? I want to know. Steve?
Okay, yeah, the issue here is that I was looking at a little tidbit I was about to read, and then in my brain, it's like, oh, you say chew them with your mouth after you say the first line, but I forgot to toss to you. It's my bad. I took the suspension.
I mean, you had no choice there.
No, I know. As if I could be like, no, turn down. Like, no, suspended.
Yeah, Steve can never gain any ground in the suspensions. Like anytime, like if I catch a suspension, it's like, Steve, I mean, you caught one. You caught one. We both caught one today.
That was like a Red Sox Royals thing right there, where it's like, oh, we're going to pick up a game. Nope, we're not.
Yep.
MJ Melendez, 3-run bomb. That's how it goes. Alex Cora, 1 win away from 500 wins as Red Sox manager. He would join Joe Cronin, Terry Francona, and Pinky Higgins as the only Sox managers in the 500 win club. Monday could be the day that he gets 500. It's going to be 92 degrees. First pitch is 8:10 p.m. Eastern, sunny, 0% chance of rain, 9-mile-an-hour winds. 92 degrees that late is crazy. Tuesday, 8:10 p.m. first pitch. You'll notice they're all that time. Mostly sunny, 81 degrees, 0% chance of rain, 12-mile-an-hour winds. Wednesday finale. Hey, I'd love if it's in the afternoon. It's not, dude. 8:10 p.m. Eastern first pitch. Sunny, 81 degrees, 0% chance of rain, 9-mile-an-hour winds. And that will do it for your weather look ahead, which is brought to you by Billy's Gummy Bears. Chew them with your mouth. I will add real quick, I think the heat thing, yeah, it's going to be hot and all. Really just game one. I mean, if we're talking 81, that thing gets down in the 70s. So let's not talk about the heat a little too much here with Kansas City. There's no afternoon games. If that were the case, then maybe we can bring the heat thing in. It's not the case here.
Yeah. As a reminder, Tuesday, Unobstructed Views, Nesson Plus. Steve, Coley, Tyler. Are you coming, Jake? I want you to be there.
Yeah, no, I'll come.
All right. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Is Eamon coming?
I mean, he's cooking part 2 of the All-Star vlog, so maybe not.
Well, he can fucking cook it while he's there. The fuck?
True.
Tell him to cook.
Hi, Jeremy.
Shout out to Jeremy, too. And Luis
Not
Garcia.
invited.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. For saying hi to people.
Yeah. Shout out to Dan Peral, by the way.
Shout out.
Is he there? Is he with you right now, Steve?
I'm gonna see him in tomorrow. I'm gonna see him in one
see
day.
him in tomorrow.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Damn it.
You got to be ready by that second wave of like, come on.
Yeah. Listen, it's not that hard to be prepared, you know. Guy had 17 pages of notes on Luis Garcia, but he didn't have the haikus ready. Are they ready now, Tyler? All right.
My apologies. Whew. Breslow cooked, my dear. Wilyer, Rookie of the Year. Sogard, Family Tears.
Pretty good.
Wilyer, Ketchup King. Duran injured? No such thing. Hammy's Homecoming. A series of haikus by Tyler Milliken.
What was the last line on that second one?
Hammy's homecoming. They call David Hamilton Hammy. His family was all in the crowd today. It's called
the fact that you think you needed to specify who Hammy was.
They call Jason Varitek Hammy.
Yeah, you know Hammy? Oh, it's David Hamilton. Yeah, I know that's difficult to keep up with.
That's what they call Duran.
Yeah.
You know Hammy? Dunce.
Yeah, Hammy. Rafael Devers.
Getting tossed twice during the Tycoos. That's it's his own segment. He got tossed twice.
Yeah. Show is over. He got tossed in the fucking epilogue.
I felt great. I was like, man, I'm about to go, 6 shutout here, nothing to think about, and I just gave up 2 bombs and got pulled.
The suspensions account was just, putting the bag together. All right, we're gonna head out of here. Wait, what?
Yeah. Tyler, final thoughts?
Ooh, final thoughts. Yeah, Miguel Blaise. I know we've been kind of talking about him with the trade deadline and everything coming through. His numbers not being exactly great since he got promoted to high A, but he's been turning it on in his last 7 games down there. Has hit 3 home runs, 290, 333, 677, 1011 OPS. Just add another guy to this system as, Sox prospects updated their rankings today. Feels like they're getting deeper and deeper. And it was only a couple days ago that Jeff Passan was saying they're up there for a top 3 farm system in baseball right now. Hard not to feel that way when you look at the current state of the system.
I was just looking at the Jeremy teaser for this episode. It's very funny. Good work, Jeremy. Coley, final thoughts?
I missed the teaser. Yeah, Braden Montgomery, number 4 on that top, 60. So that's where he debuts, pushes Campbell down to 5. Campbell did nothing there to deserve that, other than Braden Montgomery got drafted, and he was supposed to be a top 5 pick in the draft. They got rid of all there's so many pitchers. Just Igson, still learning how to say his name, continues to be an absolute monster down in the minors. That Greenville team, a whole lot of fun to watch that team right now. And Tyler wants to talk about debuts, but doesn't want to talk about the Priest coming to Worcester and getting absolutely shuttlecocked into the ground in his first appearance with Worcester. Doesn't concern me in the slightest. They definitely tinkered, and I feel like we have to give guys time. The tinkering being doing something, getting to the major leagues one way, and then after a week being like, we're going to do it this completely other way. Not that easy for a 23-year-old. So I'm going to give him way more time, as everyone should. But people were obviously freaking out today because they're small-brained peons. So I'm not worried about the Priest.
Yeah.
4-seamer gone. They're mostly using the sinker now, which speaks to him. That's the last kind of thing that dude would ever do.
Okay. Steven?
Yeah, I feel like we missed out on what could have been a really funny Twitter day. Noah Lyles ends up barely winning the gold medal, and I know everybody had funny stuff, or a lot of people probably had funny stuff ready to go in the drafts, but world champion or what? Like, that would have been great. Then again, I'm not going to root against someone from my own country. Then he wins the gold.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I think a lot of people know what I'm talking about. It's okay that you don't. This is something you would know about. Most people know about this. This was all over Twitter. He basically called out, this was months ago, he called out the NBA for saying that you're world champions when you won a USA league. It's like, well, the best players in the world play in the NBA, dude. So, and Team USA was at this event today, and I feel like maybe 1 or 2 of them might have tweeted out an emoji or something, and then that would have, I was just excited, and then he barely beat this dude from Jamaica, and we didn't get that moment. So just kind of sad it didn't happen. I'm not going to root against someone from the country, but I was rooting for the moment, rooting for the Twitter moment. Didn't happen. Jerry?
Yeah, damn it.
I know, you were rooting for that too.
I was waiting for it. We was right there. It was right there. Jake's takes?
Steve, I'm going to have to dump about 2 hours of your SummerSlam segment from earlier just because we're going on 2:30 right now, so can't drop a 5-hour episode.
Right. That's fine.
We can do a separate pod if you want, Steve.
Yeah, we'll do a bonus. We'll get to that at some point. Sox season's going on.
Yeah, a lot of people calling you Stevie Suplex. You like that?
I love that.
I think it would be a very funny vlog to like take Steve to like WrestleMania.
I would like to. I gotta say, and I've been to a lot of these events, but like, I would really like to go because, dude, living by the Garden, I swear there is a WWE event there like every third week. It feels you see the people walk around with the chairs and everything. You just know when that's going on.
A lot of cosplay happening. Yeah,
I gotta experience. I've experienced it, but like I gotta experience it again.
If there's a vlog where like we get Steve to like dress up as like Macho Man Randy Savage and go to a wrestling show, yeah, that could be the good shit, brother.
Mm-hmm. I'd love that. Yeah, Macho Man
vlog,
Randy Savage.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do that. I don't know when. Let's see, when do they come back around? WWE Boston.
It feels like every month. Maybe
I think December 16th. So we won't have any baseball. We won't be missing any of that. Monday Night Raw is coming December 16th. So I'll take you to Monday Night Raw, and we can do a little cosplay, dress up, and vlog your experience.
That
maybe I'll even like splurge on some like ringside tickets just so you can like get the full experience, like just Steve on TV, like hard camera side. Just
sign.
Yeah, with a sign, Stevie suplexes. Yeah.
I'm down. And this is going to be, by the way, I think that's going to be like a week after the winter meeting. So the Sox will have just like
absolutely
signed
make a massive trade that
they'll
night,
make a huge deal or like sign a big name.
Sox.
So we'll be celebrating that at the WWE event in Boston.
Monday Night Raw. Yeah. Let's do that.
I'm down.
That would be hilarious.
Aren't you? I feel like when you go, you're always close.
I usually, it depends. I'm either like ringside or like Jimmy Stewart and those guys. Yeah, they'll get like a suite with like a bunch of people that go. But yeah, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. Like we're sitting fucking ringside, dude.
Yeah, I want to be ringside for all the pops.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Are we forgetting anything? No, Tyler.
I saw the movie Trap the other day. That shit is fire. It's a great film. Jared, you'd love it as a guy who's into like horror, thriller, those kind of things. It's basically a guy who is a murderer. He goes to a concert.
Who directed it. Say who directed
M. Night Shyamalan. What's his name?
Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan.
I know he's famous.
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night La La La.
It looked really hard to read when they put it on the screen. But it's a guy who goes to a concert.
Hold on. Are you trying to say you've never heard that name out loud before? Is that what's going on here?
I've never heard it out loud, but I know he makes horror films, right? Shutter Island?
That wasn't him.
That wasn't him? Did I just attach that to him?
Wait.
I just love how this is prefaced like, did we miss anything? Like, oh, well, obviously we missed this. Like, let me get this one in here.
Yeah.
It's a great film.
Scorsese, dickhead. What are you doing?
Yeah, that was
same dude, same guy.
M. Night Shyamalan.
He goes to a concert. He's a murderer. He's called the Butcher. And they know that he's going to be at this concert. So the whole thing is him trying to escape the concert. It's fire. Go watch it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
That's the first. By the way, that's the first person I've heard say it was fire.
It gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, we don't have the best movie review crew on this podcast, if we're being honest.
Whoa.
Hey.
I'm saying Steve like that Civil War movie. That movie sucked.
It was good. That's a good movie. I'll stand by that.
Jeremy's so quick. He already has a M. Night Shyamalan.
And M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Tyler being like some young
Shyamalan. Oh, that's a great pick.
That's a crazy name, bro.
Shyamalan.
I mean, that's just how it's written. I hate to break that to Steve. That's how his name is.
Is it really?
I know,
that's
but
right.
I thought it was that he was like, no, I know. And M&M blocked that. I think that's the first time I've ever seen it spelled out. I don't think I've ever like seen it in writing.
Yeah.
Because it's a very said name. Like he's one of those guys.
It's one of the most said names ever,
without a doubt. And Tyler was like, and like that's what kills me. If he was like a low A prospect on like the Lake Elsinore Storm, Tyler has his name, his social security number, like all of that. Film director, like famous for when did The Sixth Sense come out? Like 97?
Yeah.
So like 30 years this guy's been famous. Tyler's like, not my problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was his debut film or what, but I enjoyed it.
Jesus Christ, dude. All right. We'll be back on Wednesday night, Thursday morning for this big series against the Kansas City Royals. Thank you for watching and listening. Be sure to check out the vlog, part 1, part 2. When does part 2 come out?
Do we land on a date? I think it's maybe end of this week. I don't want to put a specific date on it, but yeah, Human's cooking on it.
He's cooking on it. Unobstructed Views, Nesson Plus, Tuesday night, Section 10 in the building, with Sarah Perlman Mancini. And check out the vlog, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you here Thursday morning. Love you. Bye.
Buenas noches, amigos.